Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Hidden Realms, the God Heist. For our third episode, I am your humble dungeon master, Joshua McGregor. With me are Mark Crozier.
Good evening. As usual, I'll be playing the rather interesting, maybe I'm biased though, Alice Fian, and I look forward to episode 3.
Antonio Kazar.
I am playing the surgeon.
Morgan Hardy.
Hello, I'm playing Thanu the Stupid.
James Wilson.
Obviously, your resident artificer, Tolton Spartek.
Neil Hora.
And I'm playing What's in a Worthless, the big bag of chaos he is.
And unfortunately missing from our usual group this week is Sasha Ann, who is usually playing Nezumi. Unfortunately, she was not feeling too well and wasn't able to join us this week, but hopefully she feels better and she'll come back for episode 4. Great. Well, here we go. Let's do shout outs. Do you want to take us away?
Yeah. I'd like to shout out to everyone who's liked our pages, our Facebook page and social media page, and everyone that's subscribed over the past week and things. Big shout out and thank you to everyone from there. I want a big actual thank you to Mark, actually, just to embarrass him while he's in here, because he's done a lot of... He has worked tirelessly all this week on the tech stuff in the background, and he's a very talented guy, and even though if it does make him blush, but he has worked tirelessly, but and personally, a big, again, as I've done every week, a big thank you to all the key workers out there and people that are still carrying on working as well, because it's not great times out there and stuff, so just a big thank you to everybody.
Absolutely.
Amazing. Also, just wanted to shout out the fact that we are doing a NPC creation competition. We posted that a little while ago on our Facebook page and our Twitter page. Basically, design an NPC, send it in to us, like and share our Facebook page, subscribe to our YouTube channel. And when we hit 100 subscribers, that NPC, we will choose one. We'll choose a winner. Obviously, huge shout out from us on the channel, and that NPC will become part of the campaign in some way. So I will bring them to life, and the lovely characters will have a chance of interacting with them.
Really looking forward to that. I think it's going to be really exciting. Really looking forward.
Hell yeah! Be good. Take some of the workload off of me, which be great.
We'll give him a cuddle.
Especially one.
Regardless of who they are, they will get a cuddle.
Absolutely.
Fantastic. Well, without further ado, let us begin. Last time on the God Heist, we began with combat. The band of misfits were chased along rope bridges and treetop platforms by a faceless hunter, the vacuous simulacrum. As it chased them, grew faster and faster, grew more accurate, and more deadly until it nearly one-hit killed Whatsit the Worthless. Thankfully, he had an ability which allowed him to not be dead, and they managed to make it to Balmoral.
By the skin of his teeth.
By the skin of their teeth. They made it to an anti-magic zone inside of an orphanage called the Moral Arms, where none of their spells worked, and the faceless hunter could not see them. They met all kinds of orphans, the woman who looked after them, Sophia Armstrong, and one of the orphans named Caleb, who they got along with quite well. After a long rest, everybody is back up to full health. We've leveled up to level 4.
Woo!
Sophia sits you all down at a table to give you a debrief on what is going on in the world of Vulpecaar. And that's where we are now.
Awesome.
So, Sophia, sits before you. She is once again this middle-aged human woman with quite stern features. She has black hair with gray streaks in it. Forgive me, I'm just setting up a little bit of background, the music where she talks. And is prepared to walk you through any questions that you have on Vulpecaar. But she's gonna start by reiterating some of the stuff that you were told last time. So she sits down with you all and says, "All right. Basically, what you need to know is 60, 70 years ago, something, the world was whole and at peace. The two gods ruled over everything that was, as Darafel the Dark and Seriphiel the Light, the two brothers. And things were okay. And then, for whatever reason, they fell out over who should be in charge. Notes from that time aren't super clear, but they started the Sundering War. They fought and eventually reduced the world to ashes and corpses. It raged for 40, 50 years, ending 20 years ago, when the Exalted Wardens, who are the founders and leaders of the Grey Orthodoxy, managed to imprison them in floating wardens. They have been working ever since to try to repair the broken world and maintain the prisons that keep the gods from going to war and ending all life on the planet. At one point, looks at Thano and Watsit. She said, there were many of your kind. There were orcs. They lived on the Red Isles in the archipelago. They were good people. They were fisher folk, artists, some of the best and bravest warriors that we knew, and
were just generally like awesome.
They were very good people.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
the chosen race.
Well, okay. I don't know anything about what orcs are like on your world. Maybe they're the chosen race.
Yeah, that's exactly what they are.
Fantastic. Tell me about that.
Well, we're like
about that.
We're basically the best at everything, and we're just generally the best, and we're like the strongest. We're the most intelligent.
No, I don't think so.
We're the wisest. We make the best stuff. We kick the best doors in. Yeah.
With your head.
Yeah.
With your head.
Anyway, enough of our world. More about yours.
Oh, all right. Yeah, I'll be quiet.
Unfortunately, there are no more of your people in this world.
All right.
When Darafel and Seriphiel clashed for the final time, the planet was so badly rent asunder and injured that the forces that make up the world itself solidified into avatars called primordials and joined the battle. And when that happened, the world was rent with earthquakes, fissures, the seas rose, the winds took entire cities away. And the orcs who had managed to abstain from becoming part of the war were drowned on their islands.
Don't like that.
No, nobody does.
Right.
It was The war was so full of tragedies, but that was one of the worst.
Well, we need to change that. Fano,
Yeah.
we need to put a flag there.
I'm not sure we need to conquer this world, but yeah, we need to do something about it.
Well, that's what Grumsh said. He said that we got to put a flag in and reconquer. He said
You sure he didn't mean a flagon of ale?
A flagon and an ale. How would we conquer like an entire, like plain with a flagon of ale? The gnomes are stupid, Dano.
No.
Typical barbarians.
Do it, can't you?
What?
I said typical barbarians.
Well, I'm a cleric.
Yeah.
Can't just come to a new land and appreciate its beauty.
Well, you can,
Always trying to take it.
Well, it's because the boss told me that's what we got. Yeah, well, that's the boss told me that's what we got to do.
You realize we were all given the same message?
What? You worship Grumsh as well?
Carry on.
There really is no point in trying to argue with him.
They're most definitely the exalted race, aren't they?
Right.
Yeah, that's it. Excellent
No,
race.
no one better than us.
Yeah,
Right.
That's right.
Cream of the crop,
Yeah.
obviously.
Yeah, you leave my cream in my crop, I tell you.
There'll be no creaming of the crop today. Thank
Yeah.
you very much.
I like cream.
I'm sure that you can have some cream, get a meal over at the over at the welcome tankard.
I'll tap you on the shoulder and say, no comment.
Okay.
At this point, the Furbolg young man named Elbows comes in through the door with a sack in his hand, and he goes, Mama Sophia, the materials, the shipment came through just a few minutes ago, and these are the things you asked for. She thanks him, and he nods and leaves. She's got this satchel. She pulls out what looks like a metal armband, takes it out, puts it on the table, and then she takes out a scroll, and says a few words in a language you do not understand. She says those words. The scroll script in runic characters that you do not recognize glows green, and then those characters lift off the page and begin to imprint themselves onto this armband. And that continues to happen very slowly as she continues to talk. She says, the thing that you should all know is what happened 10 days ago. 10 days ago, the ambassadors from your world arrived and were greeted by some of the high wardens, some of the caretakers of the Grey Orthodoxy. They did not know that a god was coming over, nor did they know that your people were pious. They assumed that they knew your people were pious. They assumed your gods were figmental rather than physical beings. And so when
those are all really big words.
They assumed that the gods weren't real.
That is silly.
And then Pelor came through.
Yeah.
Onto our world. based on what I've told you of the Sundering War, can you really blame them for reacting as violently as they did?
Well, they lost.
The Exalted Wardens did battle northeast of here with Pelor and imprisoned him as they did Seraphiel and Darafel on one of their floating islands.
So that's where Pelor is now, is it?
That would be where Pelor is now.
So I don't understand why did you not send a message back to our realm with this information?
Send a message back to your...
Mm-hmm.
I don't have transdimensional interspatial magic at my disposal.
Well, when the High Mage, where we're from, conjured the portal, he said that there was somebody fighting it to stop it from staying open.
Those would be the Exalted Wardens who are keeping your people from coming over here. The fact that you made it through, Rhydon wasn't sure that anyone would make it. My brother is the only one outside of the Orthodoxy who might have been able to send a message, and he tried, and he wasn't able to.
Okay.
So the
only way we're going to get back is going through these wardens then.
Well, Alistair wasn't sure about that. My brother, Alistair, he thought there might be a way. He thought there might be a way of communicating at the very least with Sygalia. He said something about the High Wardens having some kind of ornament or something on them which they had been using to contact your world. In terms of getting back, though, that's less clear. I don't think even Alistair knows how you guys would be able to go back yet.
So, but these wardens, they're the ones that are protecting and stopping everything from coming through, yeah?
The Exalted Wardens, yeah.
So we would need to do something with them in order to get this protection removed, lowered, paused, stopped, whatever you want to call it.
Without the say-so of the Exalted Wardens, that barrier is not coming down.
Right.
And it seems like they need some persuading.
Getting to talk to even one of the Exalted Wardens is a task in itself. But if you are the people that were sent from your world, I'm sure you are resourceful.
And Pelor is on that funny island or something, you said.
Pelor would be on one of the Warden Isles. Look, I have a map for you. This should help to show you what I mean. And I am just going to find the file and send it to the group chat. And for some reason, it's... Good God. Sorry, everybody. God, Heist campaign. There you are. You might have to download it.
And I'll pull it up on the screen real quick. So for everyone watching at home, on your screen you'll be able to see the map that we've just been given.
This is the immediate region of Vulpecaar. It is... so you are in Balmoral, which is in the southeastern corner of the map, in the center of some woods. To the north, there is something called the Vulpecaar. The Wardell Islands are the floating prison islands. And To the northeast, beside that, is something called the invasion site, and that is an area that you guys saw when you first arrived of blasted forest that would have been where Pelor did battle with the Exalted Wardens. So she says to you, the place most likely they would have imprisoned him would be Vulpecaar, which is the island north of here, closest to the invasion site. There was no primordial or god there before, so they would have had room, presumably, for a prisoner.
Interesting to see the. I'm sure Tolton, that is your name, right? This might be of some interest to you in the engineering. If it's engineering, it might be magic. Of how they've entombed these gods.
Nobody outside the Orthodoxy has been up to those islands. The rest of us, we don't know the complexities of how that's gone on. Even my brother, who is well versed in these kinds of things, he thought potentially the gnomes of Fallcrest would have had a hand in designing the prisons, or at least in maintaining the prisons, but the Exalted Wardens worked on their own to do the initial sealing, so...
Well, it'd be good to see these places, purely and simply for, like you say, an engineering perspective, to see if there's any way of changing or how they're put together, or if it's purely magical or gods based.
Can I just get something straight here? A couple of you have scoffed at the idea that gods are real, and yet...
Yeah, they're a bit crazy.
It's not that they're not real, it's just they're not the be-all and end-all.
I find your lack of faith disturbing.
Yeah.
Well, they're definitely not the be-all end-all, because ours tried to murder literally everyone.
It's all right, isn't it?
And so he may have been the end-all.
May have been the end-all, if not for...
You chose the wrong god, that's why.
Choose gods?
Yeah.
Yes, we have the pleasure of picking more than, two. There is more than 2 gods on our plane.
Oh my god, how many are there?
There are lots.
There are a few.
Just the one Grump.
Yes, mainly Grumsh. He's like the top one.
Okay.
Pay no heed to the barbarian. Grumsh is nothing but a lowly orc.
With one eye.
There is nothing wrong with those of one eye. And he points to the fact that he's also missing an eye.
Yeah.
That is not his downfall.
I can fix that.
I find it adds personality.
You're secretly a Grumsh follower, aren't you? Well, you got one eye.
Not even slightly.
Yeah, I know it.
Alice Fian then sort of takes his cat of nine tails into his hand, and he's just sort of like holding it, clutching it somewhat tightly, and he sort of looks up towards the sky and he just says, "Mistress, give me strength not to murder these orcs."
Would prefer it if nobody murdered anybody at my orphanage.
I'd give him a cuddle first.
I don't know why I had to say that out loud, but
Thano,
I do.
Thano, does he need a special cuddle?
Yeah, give him a cuddle.
Do not cuddle me, orc.
He'd come over like that.
And
attempt to put
he
his
just
arms
slides
around you.
along the bench that he's sitting on. Or if he's on a chair, he just slides the chair along the ground.
Cuddle time.
Remember what's it? Don't squeeze too hard.
I try not to. He is only an elf after all. They're squishy.
Do we need to roll dice, or how are you guys doing this?
Does Watson like keep coming toward as I'm like sliding away?
Oh yeah.
Then, as he keeps getting closer,
he's not going to read your social cue.
You know, like the little switchblade and the hilt of my cat of nine tails.
Yeah, that's right. Yes,
I just sort of like extend it out and just sort of not like to try and stab him, but just sort of hold it like just stay back.
What's it like to spike you, Cuddle?
Yeah. Well, I'm not sure that's going to work in his full plate metal armor.
He's not trying to like actually stab you. It's just just stay back.
he'll just keep coming and just try and give you a cuddle.
Okay, Watson, I need you to make a strength grapple check, and Alisvain, you can make a strength or dexterity, so athletics or acrobatics to escape.
No problem.
That's a natural 20.
Oh, okay. That was a 10 plus whatever.
You're getting a cuddle.
I'm getting a hug.
You just come up, and it even if he takes damage away, he'll just go up and go, now it's special cuddle time. It just come up and give you a cuddle, and then a bit of a noogie. Like that.
He sort of accepts the inevitability of what's happening, and just he mutters. Do you speak Elvish?
No.
He mutters in Elvish, just quietly enough that the only person that could hear him would be Watson. He just mutters something in Elvish.
Yeah. He'll just ignore it.
Oh, what's it? You made a friend.
Yeah. You're my friend. There you go. I don't give them out freely. So you're welcome.
That's not what I heard.
Why? What have you heard?
That you do like to give out cuddles freely.
Not freely, not special cuddles.
I'm pretty sure I have seen you give at least 3 of them.
You're not special cuddles.
What defines a special cuddle?
Well, don't ask. He just wipes himself down.
As you you step back, you just sort of yes, I see.
I think we have more important things than cuddles to worry about.
All right.
As far as I'm gonna keep going on topic because
FYI, it's not a social interaction. It's common in Sygalia.
It is not.
It's definitely not where I'm from.
No, it is not very common at all.
Based on what Riadon told me, I was expecting that if anyone was to come, they would be like him, like a cohesive team with a set leader. You guys all seem fairly new to one another. What happened to bring you all here?
Well, that was lucky enough to accompany us, really.
Grumps put us away.
No, he didn't.
He did.
Yeah, he didn't.
Yeah, he didn't.
If anything,
I said yet he didn't.
To come here, but
I confused.
That's not difficult, clearly.
No, it's not. It's true.
In terms of getting you all to Vulpecaar, that in and of itself is more of a trick than potentially you realize. Those islands are floating in the sky, for one. There are, with the exception of Grey Orthodoxy controlled vessels, there are very few skyships. We have manta ray mounts, which can fly in the sky, but if you go too close to the islands, dragon attacks. So that's always a worry.
Yeah, we'll give them a kick in later.
Sergi gets very excited when you mention the word dragon, as he gets out his little notebook and scribbles some notes down.
I take it you know about dragons then. You have dragons on Sygalia.
Yeah. Yeah. We're going to give them a kick in later.
Well, I know more than a few people who'd be very grateful to you for doing that.
No problem. They pay.
Pay?
Yeah, pay if we give them a kick in.
Pay how? Anybody who wants to can roll me an insight check.
Natural 20.
It's so
Nat
safe.
20 as
I'm
well.
not kidding.
Yeah, nat 20. With my new dice too.
Amazing. Amazing. Is that 3 nat 20s?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at that. Well, 4. The 4 actually with one mine I had previously. That's incredible.
If anyone can work out the maths for me, please down in the comments.
Yeah, that would be
Yeah,
amazing.
what's the maths in that?
And then it's going to be nat ones for the rest of the game.
Yeah.
Probably.
Bloody insight check, and we've wasted it on that.
Goodness me. This woman on nat 20s, this they don't use money here.
Oh.
She doesn't recognize coinage.
The idea of coinage.
Thing.
So how do you sort of
Get
pay?
stuff.
An exchange of wares. How is there?
Is it trade? How do you
Or do we
trade?
just
What do you
take it?
trade for?
It's everybody based on what they can provide. Everybody is under the jurisdiction of and guidance of the Grey Orthodoxy, and so in Rix and Eastcliff, they have arable farmland and can fish. So they provide most of the food for Vulpecaar. Here we deal a lot in timber. We send off wood. I mean, over by Wardell Glacus and the Snowlands, they give fresh water to a couple of the areas that don't have it. So the Grey Orthodoxy receives everything and distributes it as people need them.
What happens if I want to, like, buy a ladies' company for the night?
Lady.
Buy a
You.
ladies' company.
Yeah.
Line.
Yeah. How do I pay for it?
Honestly, I don't know that I'm maybe in Skarsgård. They have an industry for that. It would be on a trade basis, I assume.
What's it?
Oh, well, I'll definitely
What's
be
it?
trading something.
What's it?
What?
Woo her.
Woo her.
Mhm.
Who's that?
Alisfin gets a bit of a grin, and he just
Woo.
he slowly sort of turns to Watson, and he says,
Yeah.
Orc, I do believe that the price for a
Yeah.
woman for the night is 3 chickens.
All right.
So,
3 chickens
So you'll need to keep an eye out.
for a chicken.
You need to acquire 3 living chickens
Ah,
All right.
and
but-
bring them.
Yeah.
but he will need to find somewhere trading with the person that has the chickens.
All right.
Well,
That
you
I'm
know,
confused.
so long as they are high quality chickens, then
I know,
any lady will accept them.
All right. Where?
Okay, what's it? You go look for some chickens, and we'll let the lady speak.
All right, then. Yeah, he'll go out. Go out looking for chickens.
How long has this system run for?
20 years.
As in the trade element,
Bartering.
the bartering.
The trade and bartering system has been around for 20 years. Before that, everybody was in war camps for the gods and in settlements trying to stave off the general chaos of the wars.
It sounds like your orthodoxy have declared some form of martial law and taken control of the land from, well, peacefully in a way.
Well,
Seems
what
like
happens?
they are in control out of most things, and you wouldn't receive much in response, and only the limited amounts of goods to survive.
We get enough to live off of. The Exalted Wardens literally gave their lives to save the world.
Propaganda states.
I mean, there are some people who believe that the Orthodoxy are an evil corporation, evil organization, who have forcibly taken over the world, but they're young. They don't remember the Sundering War. For those of us who were there and who fought in the Sundering War, we owe everything to them, and they work every single day to maintain the world and keep us alive. So
I'm only thinking about people being under control isn't necessarily the best thing. Hence my statement.
It's not something that I worry about too much, as long as they keep providing food and materials for me and my kids. I don't care.
The question was more rhetorical, but fair enough.
So you're saying that for so long as they will provide you with the minimum of what you require, you will continue to work for them? Your people...
We're all in a collective endeavor to heal and save the world. We're all part of the Orthodoxy, whether we wear the colors or not.
But on the Warden's plan, yes?
They are the heads of the plan. They are the ones who save the world.
That sounds like slavery with extra steps.
I agree.
Yeah, well. What systems do you have in Sygalia?
Well, that depends, I suppose, where you look. Some people live in lives such as what you have described for here, but they are, well, as I said, considered slaves. I had an experience that I can attest to not being too fun. But elsewhere, there are free people. There are people who would not know freedom if it was given to them on a silver platter. There are people who want for nothing. It is not so much a worldwide way of living.
It sounds like you have sort of
liberty?
Like clans, like tribes, like the Dreltar and the Ratfolk.
Free will.
In a manner, but
aside
from that,
nations,
we also have nations.
Nations.
And then on top of that we have, but in generally we have towns and cities like this. But within those towns and cities, people live freely. They trade, they grow crops, or they manufacture goods, and they sell them, buy other things through money, through gold, or gems and precious metals and stones. But there is no, you do everything you're told. Well, there's laws of the realms that within them, but there's, and in that way there's guidelines or expectations, but there is no, you must do this all the time, you must appease this or whatever, unless you're following a god, in which case there are certain more rules and restrictions that you have to abide by.
We're not forced to do anything we don't want to do. I volunteered to be the head of this orphanage. If I wanted to do something else, if I wanted to be a farmer or a craftsperson, I could apply through the Orthodoxy. They would allow me passage to whatever settlement I wanted to be a part of, and I would work in that capacity.
And
sounds like with money, it's just more steps.
Well, yeah, as he says. And if you decided you didn't want to do any of those things?
If you don't want to keep yourself and everyone else alive and save the world, I've never come across anybody so selfish and horrible.
I don't mean it that way, but you also get people that would rather just be left alone, don't want to interfere, don't want to disturb anybody, and in the same way do not wish to be disturbed themselves.
All of this chat's lovely, but how's it going to help us find Palor?
Because we learn more about the world and how it works, and then we can assimilate ourselves into it.
So far, we've learnt that the overruling government does not have a relative new law or rule system and only act on impulse due to the course war that's just happened. And that's just an assumption from myself. I might be wrong.
You've all come with your own histories and your own forms of government, and it's very clear that those are colored by your circumstances as ours are colored by ours. In terms of what you need to do, when we spoke to Riodon, he convinced us that what happened was a misunderstanding, that your people did not want to invade our world. That being the case, Pelor would be imprisoned wrongfully, and so the best course of action will be to find a way either to convince the Exalted Wardens to release them and send you all back home, or to break him out and send you all back home.
Well,
once that is done,
why would we send supposedly all-powerful beings straight through if we were in under a banner of peace? If we were intending on
nobody in this world will stand for gods being free on Vulpecaar. Not even well-intentioned ones.
But even so, if we were intent on conquering, would we not have sent more than just us?
More than just you, or more than just the ambassadorship?
Just either. Not hearing from them. If we were intent on invading, we'd be fighting to. No,
you've convinced me. You've convinced me, and you've convinced my brother, which is why you have friends here in Balmoral, which is why I'm. She holds up. She's got 4 of these armbands done. She's making a 5th one. This is why I'm willing to help you go unnoticed by the Faceless Hunters and the Grey Orthodoxy. We think it was a misunderstanding. And if you can convince the Grey Orthodoxy of the same thing, then
do they have a representative here?
There is somebody who oversees this area, who works at Vulpecaar. His name is Breniel Amakir. He is most likely to send a representative to investigate the Faceless Hunter being drawn into the town at some point, either this evening or tomorrow morning at the latest.
Sorry, could you say that name again? Breniel
Amakir.
Thank you.
He's a High Warden. So there are the Exalted Wardens, High Wardens, the graduates, and initiate wardens, who are all part of the Grey Orthodoxy.
A word of warning. I, for one, do not have that much of a care for Pelor as much as other people may do. But my word of warning to you is, and this is not to you, but this is just me reiterating from Sygalian to Vulpecaar, that if Pelor's not released and brought back, Sygalian might see that as a declaration of war. That's my only problem.
That was what Riodon was afraid of. And your gods do not know the danger that they face if they come here.
That it might not be the gods you have to worry about, but considering you're mentioning tribes, and we have nations, we have thousands of people who could pour through and lay waste to what you're healing currently. You don't want that, do you? Surely,
no, of course we don't.
Obviously, that's not a threat.
No, it's not. Like I said, I do not care of Pelor. I personally would like to see other means and other things, and nothing to do with me.
We all want to avoid war. That's
nobody gains from war.
Nobody gains from war. We know that better than most people. It really does warm my heart to hear you all say that. You know, we have all these strange differences of opinion on so many things, but on that we can absolutely agree. War never changes. Anyway, she finishes the green runes, finish lifting from the scroll onto these 6 armbands. She hands them over to all of you and says, if you wear these, it should, there's an enchantment on them. They should keep you hidden from the Faceless Hunter's sight and still allow you to cast spells.
If we cast spells while wearing them, does it let off our positions to the Faceless Hunters?
Rhydon wasn't sure. He'd lost all his spellcasting by the time he left you a note. She remembers. She goes over to one of the chests on the side of the room, digs under it, pulls out a note and brings it over, and says, "It wasn't for my eyes. I thought it was better for you to read." He wasn't sure that anyone would come, but he left this just in case.
I'll happily take it, and we can read it amongst ourselves.
Yeah. Here's what the letter says. To whomever comes, if anyone comes, from Sygalia, I have seen such a battle as would put to shame the defeat of Lolth itself. We fought beside Pelor, but those we faced, well, if ever they were mortal, they are so no longer. The good Alistair Armstrong seems to believe these were the Exalted Wardens, who are at the head of the Grey Orthodoxy, 5 beings more proficient in spellcasting than any Archwizard I have known. Beware of them. We were not prepared for Vulpecaar. My spells dwindle without access to Pelor's light. Whatever prison they have fashioned severs the link between God and worshipper. Another was with me, a soldier who has since died of his wounds, who was a priest of Avandra. He said that he had similar troubles. Perhaps the distance is too great between Vulpecaar and Sygalia. Second only to our quest to free Pelor is our need to contact Sygalia and warn them of what has happened here, and avoid war. Seek out such a source of contact as soon as possible. Such a link could also re-establish the bonds between divine casters and their deities back on Sygalia, or so Alistair thinks, and he has not been wrong yet. Find me, or word of me, in the farming town of Rix to the north. There I will be seeking to rejoin Aegeus Rothanel and formulate a plan for Pelor's release. Signed, Rhydon Othronus, Crown Prince of Gorendia. There are 2 postscripts. Postscript the first, you will find the people of Balmoral to be good folk and staunch allies. Suffice to say, they have their own reasons for wanting to avoid the gaze of the Orthodoxy. Postscript. My knife went missing while I was staying there. I suspect Willow, but I have no proof. If you should find it, I should consider it a great personal favor if you could return it to me, assuming I am still alive to receive it.
He seems like a nice chap.
Yeah, so that is the letter that you all read from Rhydon, who is the champion of Pelor.
So I was trying to make notes there as we were going along. Who did we have to speak to about reconnecting, like making that link?
He does not say. He says to seek out a source.
Okay. He said this should be done, but we've no lead as such yet.
You do not as yet have any leads.
Okay.
Sophia said that some of the members of the High Wardens, who are just below the Exalted, had communication magical items of some description that could contact Sygalia from this side.
So if we have to get to Rix in the north from Balmoral, which is the best route to go?
Sophia...
Through the invasion site or up through Vulpecaar?
Sophia says, first of all, you can't go through Vulpecaar. Even if you wanted to go under it, the mana geysers, the Una pillars, they are pure concentrated source. you can't walk through them any more than somebody could walk through fire.
Around Vulpecaar or through the invasion site?
You could go by land. Nobody. You would be very brave indeed if you decided to go by land. The way that we get around is either through air travel or teleportation circles. The Orthodoxy have set up direct link teleportation circles on each of the floating islands and in each town and city, so that there is a network. If you know the correct codes, you can make it from the square in town in Balmoral anywhere in Vulpecaar. Unfortunately, we do not have those codes. Those are held by the High Wardens. But air travel is... Sorry?
Well, what do you suggest? How for us to get there?
You can... and here she gets a little glint in her eye. She said, we don't have the codes to go to Rix. We do have the codes to go to a bigger city with people who deal in more of this kind of thing, more information, and go under the Orthodoxy's nose somewhat. They are in Skarsgård, to the southwest, or to the south. We have the code to go to Skarsgård on us. My brother had one hell of a time taking that. But if you wanted to go to Rix, you would actually be following Rhydon. You'd be following... my brother went with him on a flying manta to Rix. It's been 2 days now, so they should be arriving around midday tomorrow in Rix. We only just got our supplies. The manta ray who delivered those supplies will be stopping in town for a couple of hours. You guys could try to see where they're going next, if you wanted to.
What do you think? Should we go to Scarsdale and see if we can teleport, or do we? Because they've got a couple of days head start on us.
Unless there's some other way of getting there quicker, which obviously there isn't.
Not unless...
Apart from flying.
You can fly. You can fly or teleport. If you want to go over the land, it'll take you a lot longer than going by air, and you will be attacked almost constantly along the way by...
Well, then teleport is the only other option, isn't it?
Undead and dragons. Yeah, teleportation is very handy in a very hostile world.
Right. Well, shall I go and find what's it? Someone go and find Willow, and then we'll head off.
Willow's...
On that note, Josh, do I manage to find any chickens?
Oh, so you've gone out and are looking for chickens? You have gone out. We'll cut to you. We'll do a little bit of you, and then everyone else will join. So you have this armband. Do you have this armband that you were given on your arm? Fantastic. Yeah. You step outside, and you see that the faceless hunter is by the side of the building, standing completely stock still.
Does he react to me?
Not at all.
And I go up and just poke him.
Doesn't react.
I'm gonna get
what's it, cuddle?
I'm gonna get out a pen, a ink, and I'm gonna draw a mustache on his face and give him a couple of eyes, and put spectacles on his eyes. And then I'll write on his forehead, Grumsh is awesome. And then I'll draw on his chest, just basically the eye of Grumsh on his chest, like it's a holy symbol.
Okay. You draw the thing of Grumsh, similar to what you have on your armor, onto this thing. It does not respond in any way, and then I'll try
and find some chickens.
And then you try to find some chickens. You see the town is all bustle. People are getting ready for a day's work. There are humans and elves with coal black skin and white flecks. There are Furbolg, all
I literally grab the first person that walks by and says, "Hello, where's what's it? And I need to get some chickens."
Where's what's it? And I need to get some chickens.
I said, "Hello, my name's what's it, and I need to get some chickens."
You grab a human man, and he goes, okay, you're an orc.
Yeah.
Oh my god, this is amazing.
Not being, I'm not the brightest, but I'm a half orc, but not that really being that finicky, whatever the word is.
I am so glad to hear that some of your people survived. I had no idea. We thought that all of you were gone. Absolutely. If you want to see where we keep the chickens.
Oh my days.
He's putting two and two together, and he's going, yeah. Where I see what happened, right, was that because I'm the holy champion of Grumsh, right, that I survived.
Yeah.
And all the rest of them died, but it's all right because I'm here to repopulate the place, which is why I need 3 chickens.
Roll me a charisma check.
Not a problem. Is it a persuasion or just
charisma?
Charisma. 17.
17 on a charisma check. Yeah, that's cool. He goes, okay, absolute. Look, that makes complete sense. Your people were almost wiped out. You are a half orc yourself. You want your bloodline to continue. And you need
3 chickens.
You need 3 chickens to do that. That's fine, buddy. That's fine.
Will you get them for me?
You know what? Have you met Sophia? Have you?
Yeah, I met her. She's in there. Yeah.
Oh, fantastic! So she knows that you're out here asking about chickens.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So it's cool. It's cool with Sophia that you want 3 chickens.
And the little kids and stuff like that. I gave them all knives. You were talking to Willow. I talked to Willow as well. She's all right.
Oh yeah, Willow's great.
Yeah.
Willow's awesome. Right, because she was always pretending to give knives to kids.
Not pretending.
Right, buddy. Okay.
Yeah. So where's my chicken?
I'm just gonna pop my head in at the Yeah. No. What? Tell you what. I'm gonna go, and I'm going to
get my chickens.
Go get you some chickens. Yeah.
All right, brilliant. I'll be in there. All right.
You point back to the Moral Arms.
Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic. You go.
Right.
You go towards
What's your name?
Arms.
What's your name?
I'm Owen.
All right, Owen. All right, thanks, Owen. You're very nice.
Oh.
Do you want to cuddle?
Cuddle? Maybe when we know each other just a little bit better, I'll want to cuddle.
What?
Sure.
Oh, all right. Fair enough.
Alrighty.
All right. So I'll get back in.
Great. You go.
I'll literally go back in, and I'll just go. That's all right. I ordered the chickens. Owen's bringing them.
Okay. I am going to make.
And I've converted the faceless hunter, and he's out here, and he's now decided that he's going to worship Grumsh.
Alice Finn just starts stifling a laugh, throws his head into his hand, trying not to laugh. And after a moment, he just sort of turns to Watson and says, "You know, I think we might get on best of friends after all."
Yeah, absolutely. You've had a special cuddle. We're good friends now.
You go ahead and roll me a perception check, Watson.
Perception. Hang on. What's that? It is. Perception 14.
14. That's you hear the faintest of little tappings on the window. You and Sophia look over at the window, and Owen is at the window trying to signal to Sophia to like come to the back door so we can talk to her.
Yeah, that's Owen. He's gonna bring me some chickens. I've told him that I'm here to repopulate.
What's it? So you told him that you were going to repopulate and you needed 3 chickens to repopulate the orcs? Yes, you are a wonderful specimen and a fine example of those who worship Grunch.
Without a
You
doubt.
are very welcome, and thank you.
There'll be no half chicken orcs here.
No,
That's just weird.
No, your brawny
Don't
friend
be
has the right idea.
disgusting, Thano. I need the chickens to pay for the woman for the night. That's what you said.
I applaud you, Green One. What's it? You have done a great service for your race. Your Grumsh would be proud.
He's always proud of me. I'm the chosen one.
Yes, you are. You are
You're
very
definitely
special.
chosen for something.
You are very special.
Very special.
You are.
I'm special. Dano tells me I'm special all the time.
You are special.
Sophia goes to the door and opens it and talks to Owen, and says, "Go ahead, go up and be a good lad. Talk to Albric at the Welcome Tavern. These guys will go over there. Have him make them a nice meal. Chicken for the orc."
While
He
this
goes, "Yeah, right, boss," and runs off.
While this is going on, I just want to have a nose at this armband that we're wearing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Does it look familiar to anything that we would have had back home?
It looks, besides the lettering and the clear fact that it was made in the middle of an anti-magic zone, which is intriguing in and of itself, this looks pretty typical. It looks just like an item, a magical item that doesn't require a attunement, that has a minor magical ability on it.
Okay. But there's nothing specific akin back that we would have back where we're from, like comparison-wise. I'm just trying to gauge whether there's anything to compare it to back where we're from with regards to seeing, not just about it being minor or major, but just for mental purposes, you know.
I think it's not directly comparable to any magic item that you would have seen.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So, are we going to go to the inn then?
Well, before we do leave,
We need a
do
knife.
have to ask, Sophia, in the letter that we were given, it somewhat explained an issue that I know has cropped up for me since arriving here, and I'm sure for my big green friend there as well. I'm finding that despite having rested thoroughly, my shall we say, reserves of divine magic have not replenished. It was alluded to in that letter, and in the same letter, they mentioned about re-establishing a link with Sygalian. Do you know who we might speak to achieve that?
Rhydon was hugely concerned when he said something about his stock of spells did not replenish once he had rested, which it was a huge concern for him. He by the time he left, about 9 days after he first came here. He was completely without spells of any kind.
Don't like that.
It's as far as
how do I get him back?
As far as he could tell, the only way of getting it back would be to reestablish a dimensional link back home, back to Sygalia, or for him to release Pelor.
How do we do that?
He gets his power from Pelor. He believed that any device that established any kind of contact with Sygalia would reestablish the link with a deity. So any kind of communication device, any way of teleporting back. He wasn't entirely sure what he was looking for, but Alistair told him about the communication rings that the High Wardens kept, and Alistair, he decided that it was more important for him to go to reconnect with his allies, who he assumed would have made it to Rix. He said Aegeus was his ally, because they got separated during the battle when Pelor clashed with the Exalted Wardens. But Alistair was of the opinion that one High Warden might have gotten rid of their communication ring, in which case, if they don't have it, it will most likely be in Skarsgård in the underworld.
Let's get that in.
The underworld?
I mean that in there's a sort of black trades market that goes on in Skarsgård. It's not directly under the control of the...
where all the naughty people go.
Not necessarily naughty people, but there are some people who want more specialized goods that the Grey Orthodoxy does not necessarily
how far is that
distribute.
How far is that from where we are?
Skarsgård.
Wherever that place is you're talking about.
Skarsgård is a few miles to the south, but we have the teleportation codes to get you there immediately if you need to.
All right, let's go.
What I feel we may need there? A few more than 3 chickens to trade for a communication ring.
It's all right, we'll just give him a kicking.
Before...
I like that idea.
Hey, look, all I tell you is that Thano and Whatsit have a speciality and obtaining things that don't belong to us.
I feel I have a particular set of skills and can be quite, shall we say, persuasive.
We're persuasive. That's how we do it. But
So
Thano and I
perhaps we have more in
disagree.
common.
I don't know what
We have a different approach, Thano and I. Sometimes they complement each other. Sometimes they clash a little bit.
Well, I don't know about all the rest of you, but I feel I speak for myself and the green one.
Someone's got to.
I mean, what's it? When I say that perhaps our first port of call should be acquiring one of these communication rings?
I'm reckoning so. Either the Whatsit way or the Thano way, I reckon. Or both.
I do understand that some of you, and I sort of glance towards Tolton, don't particularly see the need of the importance to establish a connection with the gods. But I feel in this situation you may be somewhat outnumbered. It does not take a genius to see that at least two of us require it.
This is very true.
And I have a funny feeling that the smaller orc will go wherever the bigger one is headed, and that leaves the two of you. So. What's the plan?
Couldn't give a monkey's perfectly honest with you, and I'm very much inclined and interested to know what's going to happen next.
Wonderful, big face, then you're coming with us.
I do have a question. So we need to be able to establish connection with Sygalia.
Yes.
If only to prevent a war.
Some form of sending stones, would they not work?
She rifles in the bag that is full of supplies, and she pulls out a couple of sending stones. She says, we got an extra pair of these in with our supplies for the month. You two, or you 6 are more welcome to take a pair. They directly communicate with one another. You can absolutely try to radio a distant planet, but Rhydon didn't have.
I'm just curious because outside of this magical anti-magic zone, anything's possible, surely.
You from the story would know that the anti-magic zone is over the house to protect people who are immediately fleeing from a faceless hunter. The Exalted Wardens have some kind of magical barrier over the entire planet that keeps people from dimensions.
Hence I gathered that. Hence the portal's not being openable. But
yeah, exactly.
Person stepping through is different to an audio being sent to.
That's true. It would be a lot easier to establish voice connection than it would be to move an entire person. In the temple, it took 15 to 20 high-level clerics and Avocat all using gate spells to get you all over there. So
it is an interesting proposition you put forward, a small one. However, I do have the concern of the fact of that, unless you have something up your sleeve or attached to your metal mutt, then I don't know about the big green one, but I know there's no way that I could take a sending stone and throw it across dimensions.
I'm just curious whether there's some way of
I've not tried.
Came through with them. That's all.
I've not tried it, but I'm pretty sure I won't be able to.
Yeah, the others didn't seem to think that.
Yeah, no, I gathered that. I just didn't know if anybody had brought anything with them personally. That's all. Any of us, I mean. On top of that, with regards to these bands that we've got, do they stop us from being able to use our skills? Do they impact those at all?
No, the wording on them is very specific. It allows whoever is wearing them their magic to flow outwards. When it comes to casting spells, but it should mask your natural Sygalian divine signature that the faceless hunters are tracking.
Okay. What happens if you go out and start? I mean, obviously, what's this just at a play? But if you start touching these faceless hunters, as long as you're not trying to damage them,
yeah, that's fine.
Have they ever done anything? Have you ever tampered with one?
I gave one a cuddle outside.
You said before that you defaced it.
Defaced it. No, I persuaded it. He's now a follower of Grumsh.
Right. That actually might be a problem. Willow and Elbows are in the middle of trying to stage things so that it looks like the Faceless Hunter had another reason for coming into town. If a representative of the Grey Orthodoxy comes in and finds evidence of Sygalians here, they will have grounds to launch a more full investigation. And
can I have a look at it and see if there's any way?
It's outside.
Seeing how it works.
It's by the door.
Absolutely. You guys.
The Grey Orthodoxy. Do I need to give them a kick in if they come in then?
No, the Grey Orthodoxy are the good guys.
Why am I worried about them investigating?
Because they don't want us.
They'll arrest you.
So I give them a kick in then.
Can't give everyone a kick in.
All right.
I'm gonna get it.
All right.
Two good guys fighting each other. It's all bad. It's all bad when that happens.
All right. I suppose not. All right. I'll use this time.
What, your finger?
Yeah. No, my brain.
Leave that to me. What's it?
Yeah.
So you guys are free to go about whatever business you want to go about.
We were going to get something to eat, and then we were going to teleport, weren't we?
We've got to get the knife off Willow as well.
Mm-hmm. Well, while you go and get the knife off of Willow, I'm going to go and have a nose at this faceless hunter outside.
Okay. Sophia, do you know where Willow is right now?
Yes, Willow and Karen are out in the woods trying to gather together some remains of some undead that we can use to stage an attack on the town that would be evidence enough for the Orthodoxy to believe that the Faceless Hunter came killing undead. If one or two of you want to go out and help them with that, they could use. I don't know if any of you have expertise when it comes to undead or arranging bodies or staging battlefields. But
I think that's him. And I point to the surgeon.
While we're on the subject and talking about me, hello. There is, you mentioned very briefly about the manor pool underneath.
Those are the they are mana geysers. They are pure concentrated source.
That's enough. Thank you. What do you need me for?
If you could help Willow and Karen to stage this undead attack, they'll be just outside town. That would be, it would help you guys all stay undercover.
Well, thank you for letting me stay. I'll leave now. I'll walk out.
Come on, what's it? Are we going with the surgeon?
We're going with the surgeon, are we? All right. Okie dokie.
So you three are going over there. Tolton, you are going to look at...
If you're going to do that, we'll meet you at the tavern, inn, whatever you want to call it, where we get something to eat afterwards.
The welcome tankard.
Yeah. If anyone needs any armor making as well, I can do that for you.
Can I?
Yeah.
My brother actually runs the smithy, and he's away from town right now. So if you want a key and access to his workshop to...
No problem.
His forge, you're more than
bring me as
welcome
many pots and pans as you can find.
We only have a certain set number of those, but I'm sure there's one or two we can spare.
All right, they make the best armor.
I can make it in half the time.
No, I bet you can.
I bet I can.
I bet you
I'm
can.
starting to see why you were all chosen. Not necessarily as a team, but as individuals.
While Watson is
why don't you two go and make some armor? Me and the surgeon will go and find Willow.
I'm going to tamper with this Faceless Hunter first.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Alice Shane, what are you up to?
Yeah, while they're all sort of debating where they're going, Alice Fiend's sort of not getting twitchy, but he hasn't, caused someone some sort of degree of annoyance in a bit, and he's getting somewhat bored with that, and he's not the most, shall we say, helpfully aligned. He sort of is just sort of looking at Watson for a bit, and then he has a bit of an idea.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
He takes one of the needles out of the top of his cat o' nine tails, and He looks at he then sort of like palms it in his hand, and he looks at the bracelet, and he then talks to Sophie, and he says, "I am assuming that these bracelets don't allow us to cast magic in here."
No, the anti-magic field itself will be what prevents you from casting magic in this building.
Good. Sorry, what's it? Where did you say you were going?
I'm going to the blacksmith place. Where I don't actually know where it is. Where is it?
Blacksmiths? You're going to want to go, and she gives you directions to...
Yeah. All right.
I think I will accompany my new green friend to the blacksmiths.
It's going to be fun.
You see, Nezumi, who was sitting at the table with you, is no longer sitting at the table. Sophia turns around and catches Nezumi's tail going up the stairs. She goes, I think I guess she wants to stay and hang out with the kids. That's fair enough.
Yeah.
Let her relax. It is a big world for a small mouse.
Indeed. She seemed a bit timid. This will be a good place to slowly acclimatize her to the world. Goodness knows, Caleb. I heard that Caleb really opened up to all of you. That's fantastic.
You still got some things to learn with a knife.
Yeah. I also heard that you talked to Willow, and none of my kids are getting knives. That's
all right.
It's just not happening.
I'll go make them some axes.
That folks.
Yes, we absolutely should do that. Shall we go? What's it?
Yeah.
And Alasane sort of almost slightly agitated, but seemingly excited, is sort of just looks at the fist that he's palming the needle in. He says, "Come along, what's it? You can lead the way."
All right. He'll lead the way out the door.
Fantastic.
And, as he goes out the door, he'll point you the faceless hunter and say, "Look, even he wants to worship Grump. She's much better than."
Yes. Maybe you're right. Maybe this whole missing eye things that I have going on. Maybe I'm secretly just worshipping Grumsh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Carry on.
I think that's where we should call a break.
Yeah. That's a good idea.
And then we'll come back for everyone's various little quests.
Brilliant. Okay. All right. Well, everybody.
Thanks so much, everyone who were watching.
Definitely.
I will be back in, say about 10 minutes or so.
Yeah.
Say 8:30. That's 8 minutes.
8:30.
Yeah, by 8:30.
Sounds good.
So we'll catch you then.
Brilliant. Cheers. Bye.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to this episode of the Hidden Realms God Heist. We are back for part 2.
Yeah, apologies for my backing, by the way. My camera decided it didn't want the backing anymore.
Some things, the technology. I haven't been able to do a background this entire time. I don't know if you guys have seen why yet. Here, I'm just going to do it before we start, because this is
It's because he becomes the ether. He
It's
becomes
so
Pelor.
cool.
That is how a DM should look.
Yeah.
It is out of DM.
I am the all-powerful.
That's how I look when I'm DMing at the table. I just turn into the ether.
You paint yourself blue, Mark. There's a difference.
Shh.
Maybe people could put in the chat whether they prefer Josh as an outworldly DM half disappearing or...
Definitely. Why not?
Do it. I'm
Put it to a
happy.
vote. Let the people speak.
No,
We are in Vulpecaar, after all. We're a communist state.
This is a communist state, for God's sake.
Anyway, before Neil goes off about socialism.
Power.
Here we go. We're
I approve of your socialist state.
here we go. Let's do the forge first. Who is going to the forge? Alice Fane, Watts.
I will join them shortly, but I want to have a look at this faceless hunter first.
Why don't we start with Tolton then, and then you can join them in the at the forge. So you go outside. You see the faceless hunter. It's got bird
Rudimentary drawings on it.
Mustache. Groups. Yeah, somebody has defaced a statue.
Okay. Basically, I'm going to go over look to see if there's any obvious panels. To see if I can see what it's made of. To see if it's writhing or moving in any way, shape, or form.
Go ahead and make me an investigation check.
Okay. With a 14.
14. There's some stuff that's immediately obvious. This thing has no what's the word I'm looking for? It has no obvious joints or seams or cracks in its exterior.
Almost like it's molded out of one complete unit, if you like.
Precisely. Okay. It is also completely stationary and not moving.
Okay. If I tap on it.
Yep.
Is there anything obvious? Well, I don't know if it's going to react. Not hard enough to try and knock it over or anything. Just to to see what happens. Is there any? Does it look like it's made of any particular material, metal, or whether it's a metal I know or not, obviously, but just whether it's made of a metal? Is it, is it more of a polymer? Is it?
It's definitely made of a metal. You do not know what kind of metal this is, and it is not a hollow sound that you hear.
Right. Okay. So it could even be a suit with somebody inside it.
No, it's not hollow. Sorry. So it's definitely not a suit.
Right. Okay. Right. Okay. Is there any? Right. If I scratch my thumbnail on it, or say pull out one of my tools and just not to inflict damage per se, just to sort of see if it scars or scratches or anything, see what happens.
Sure. The dice decide when you are in doubt. Cool. That does not leave a scratch.
Okay. And there's no discoloration from what's happened to it apart from what he's drawn on it. There's no changes to its surface.
And some spit on its head and some bird poo on its face.
Right. That's what I mean. Apart from that, so when it was hit by weapons and had damage done to it and all the rest of it, it's made no difference whatsoever.
You saw that it had a fluid form during combat. It looks like it has rearranged its shape so that its exterior is pristine, even though it would have taken damage.
Is it still doing it now?
Nope.
With this stuff that's on it?
Nope.
Okay. All right. I'm going to get out just, a piece of sort of rag and bits and pieces like from my toolkits and whatnot. And I'm going to spray some sort of cleaning fluid or whatever.
Yeah.
And smear these marks that he's put on it. Just the grump stuff, not the stuff on its face, just to smear it so it looks less like it's obviously something to do with a deity in case it goes back. And I'm going to make any notes that I feel that would be beneficial for not only, damaging or inflict, obviously, that's what I'm studying for, but also for purposes of if I decide or if it can benefit me when it comes to manufacturing or making something for myself. Upgrading my own. But obviously, there's very limited because I can't access it. There's no panels. Okay. All right.
So exactly.
What about joints with regards to things like elbow, knees, neck, stuff like that? There's no.
It all looks like it's cast as though it were
so almost like out of plasticine or clay or something like that. So it's completely seamless.
Smooth metal. The whole thing.
Interesting. Okay. Is there anybody nearby?
There are people walking around. People see the Faceless Hunter and keep a little bit of a distance from it, but apart from that,
all right. I'm just going to try and sort of beckon somebody. Excuse me, to somebody that's nearby.
Sure. Yeah. There's a sort of looks like he's in his 30s elven man.
Excellent, perfect. My companion is with me, by the way. I'm just I'm curious. The material that this thing is made from, is that a common material that you have here?
Common material that makes up the Faceless Hunters? No, the Faceless Hunters are. We have nothing even remotely like them. They are very special.
Yeah, somebody was saying earlier that they're not common. They're not something that you have many of, and there's not many of them around.
No, we do not. They do lots of good work for the Orthodoxy. They clear many battlefields, but always more enemies. No.
Have you ever seen one fall?
Fall? Thank goodness, no. We would be in a great big bit of pickle if something was able to take one of those down.
Well, not necessarily. You just have to learn how to do things yourself.
Learn how to take down 30-foot demon with giant fire sword on my own.
So these things have taken down demons then?
Oh, very regularly. It's a very important job that they do.
Interesting.
Without
And
them,
do you know where? I was told the gnomes make them from here as well, but obviously gnomes are fantastic. But do you have anybody here that is skilled in making things like this? Outside of
wouldn't you be the best one to know if you are from Fallcrest?
I'm not from.
I see you have your companion with you and everything. You've
seen this sort of beast before?
Well, I mean, yours is a bit shoddy, if you don't mind my saying so. Apologies, I don't mean to be. I'm sorry.
No, I'm not. That
was wrong of me.
I'm not from Fallcrest.
You're not from Fallcrest.
No.
Where are you from? I didn't know that any gnomes came from anywhere else besides Fallcrest.
Yeah, I'm from further away from that.
Further away. Oh, you could have. Geez, I'm so sorry. I didn't realize. We don't get much news from Cerispiro or Acrolos down here, so I didn't realize that there were. Forgive me. No, we don't know. We don't have anybody like that here. Our job is replanting the forests and deforestation. So
okay, all right. Thank you.
Yeah, no worries.
All right. Once I've got anything I can garner from this, I'll make notes. I'll make dimensions. I'll sort of measuring it and all the rest of it, seeing what I can do, scratching, tapping, and all the rest of it, and then I'll make any notes that I can from it, and then I'll head over to the blacksmiths with the others.
Great. You have its exact. You have its exact dimensions. You can take little notes about the metal, about how it reflects light, about how it doesn't scratch easily, all this kind of stuff. It's frugal, but it's more than you had before.
It's worth a shot.
Fantastic. So you make your way over to the blacksmiths. Let's go ahead and do the blacksmiths next.
I'm just going to just a quick one. I'm just going to turn a light on. It looks like I'm in the dark. So
fair enough.
Okay, so while we're actually on our way to the blacksmiths is when Alice Fian's little experiment begins. So as we're walking over, he purposely sort of positions himself slightly behind Grumsh. That's why he had, not Grumsh, sorry, Watson. That's why he told Watson, you lead the way. So Watson's, a little bit ahead. But he's still talking to Watson, and he starts a conversation. He just says to him, so what's it? Tell me a little more about your Grumsh. You say that my lack of eye makes me resemble him somewhat. Do you think that if I don't know if I were to consider it, that he may take me as a follower?
Yeah, he'll take you as a follower. Grumsh is a good guy. Yeah.
Wonderful. And he sort of continues this conversation. As he does, he allows Watson to just sort of bit by bit, but to waffle on, become sort of lost in the conversation, just sort of gushing about Grumsh.
He'll do that completely.
And as he's sort of distracted by that, he takes the needle that he had palmed in his hand, and he puts it sort of subtly while Watson's lost in conversation, and he's behind Watson. He puts it to his ear, and he slowly pushes it towards his ear while he casts Thaumaturgy. And specifically, I'm going to use the effect. You create an instantaneous sound that originates from a point of your choice within range, such as rumble of thunder, the cry of a raven, or ominous whispers. I'm going to make the origin of the sound be, because it doesn't say a point that I can see, it just says a point within range. I'm going to make the point of origin the inside of Watson's skull. And I'm going to make the ominous whispers sound like Grumsh. And I'm going to make them say, "All right, Watson.
I need you to make it a performance or deception roll.
Yeah.
Because you do not know what Grumsh sounds like.
Fair. Yeah, I'm just guessing on what orcs sound like. That's all he's doing.
Actually, because of that, make this with disadvantage.
Okay. So first one's a 12. That's before modifier. Second one's a 13 before modifier. So what role did you want specifically?
Performance.
Performance.
A performance or deception.
Perception, did you say?
Deception.
Deception. Sorry. I need to turn my headphones up. Deception is only a +1, so on disadvantage it's a 13.
Disadvantage is a 13.
Okay. What do you want me to
beat with an insight?
Say that again? Sorry.
That's what you have to beat with an insight. What's it?
Yeah. Is this an active or is this passive?
I'm going to make this. This is contested, so you go ahead and roll the dice.
Yeah. So 19 before.
No.
Alice Fane, what do you say?
But
Oh.
But what's it? Well, you do what you do, and I'll tell you what's it do.
Cool.
Okay, so the sorry, I don't know why we need to clear my throat. So the whispers that he's attempting to make sound like what he thinks Grumsh might sound like. They say, "All right, what's it?"
Grumsh?
I can't talk for very long. I just have a very quick message for you.
What's the message, Grumsh?
Very soon. Yeah, I'm coming now. Very soon. You're gonna see someone. He won't be paying attention to you, but he'll be holding and playing with. Yeah, I hear you. I'm coming now. He'll be playing with a copper coin. He's gonna become very important, and you need to listen to the things he says.
Oh, all right, okay. Copper coin. Does it involve chickens?
I don't know about chickens, but just look out for the man with the copper coin.
Well,
Yeah. Right. I'm sorry, I gotta go. And I stop it.
Oh, all right, bye. Oh, all right. Oh, God, he's awesome.
Sorry, what was that? What's it?
What was what?
You just randomly said he's awesome. Who's awesome?
I was just feeding the inner glow.
I see. Very good.
You'd know what that was if you followed, like Grumsh.
Well, you see, you may have a point, and that is why I want to hear more about him. But you can tell me along the way.
Well, he's like the biggest. He's the best. And, we're coming here. Thano and I have come here with the instructions that what we're going to do is basically conquer the entire place single-handedly. Single-handedly being like all of us.
It sounds very powerful. Yeah.
Fantastic. You guys walk along. You've done this thing. The sound that you created, centering the point of his inside of his skull, is not telepathy, so it does make sound.
It's audible outside of him.
But I made a roll, and nobody.
What's it is not letting on that he knows. So I don't know whether that means that I need to do a deception roll.
Yeah, let's do it. Watson, you can do deception or performance, and Alice Fane can roll insight.
All right.
Deception +2.
17.
And performance. +2. 16 +2. 18.
Alice Fane, you believe that you have been successful.
All right.
Fantastic. Yeah, that was a convincing performance from what's it. So you guys make your way to this forge. There is what I don't know what I'm allowed to say in terms of references, but I'm gonna just reference stuff. Kind of like the first forge that you guys see when you go into Whiterun in Skyrim, there's kind of an outdoor forge.
All right.
Outside of a house in the direction that Sophia said to go. You guys arrive. The forge is cold, but tools and firewood, 1 bar of smelting iron is all there and readily available. It doesn't look like it's been locked up or anything like that.
I'll start gathering firewood and all the rest of it, and get tinder box out and start trying to light the actual the forge itself, and I'll be doing this with a slight condescending tone to a Lucifer about, well, you know, you're a weedly elf, and you know, you won't know about all these sort of, you know, these clever things like making armors and stuff. So let me show you how it's done. You know,
yes. You show me what how it is to make wonderful weaponry and armors.
Yeah. So what do you want?
Well, unfortunately, myself, I do not wear heavy armor, but perhaps you could show me how to make a nice dagger.
Yeah, and I'll get it lit, and I'll start crafting. Does my forge ability work? My forge ability allows me to create a basically item that has a value up to 100 gold pieces. As long as I've got takes an hour to craft any weapon, armor, key, or anything like that. It just takes an hour basically.
This is a channel divinity ability.
It is, yeah.
How many of these do you get every day?
I think at our current level we have 1 a day.
Yeah, I think so.
1 a day? And you didn't use it yesterday, so you still have it.
Yeah.
Yep, you can use it.
Okie dokie. Hang on, is it? Yeah, Artisan's Blessing. No.
Artisan's Blessing, fantastic.
Yeah, it's basically differently than actually creating an item. It actually sets up some various different. Basically, creates a ritual around the actual forge.
Very cool.
Using some sort of, gets out a few candles. You know, and a few other kind of, there's some chicken bones. There's a kind of small little dagger like that, and there's a small little spear, and all the various different objects for this this sphere, and then it goes to creating this this item. But in his creating, and the actual fire itself actually starts to kind of sort of meld and actually makes the dagger, you know, without with only minor amounts of tools needed.
Very cool.
Yeah.
I am going to roll a d20. You know what? Actually, first thing I'm going to do is we're going to cut away from that. We are going to go over to the surgeon and Thano. And after we've done theirs, I'm going to roll a d20. I don't have any way of making d20 rolls more important except by saying that they're more important. So know that there's an important roll coming. Fantastic. Surgeon, Thano, you were going with him, right?
Yeah, it was the surgeon and I. Yeah.
Fantastic. So you guys head out. You see that the sort of humanoid-shaped hole that was blasted through the side of the palisade by this faceless hunter was originally just boarded up, and now there are actually some laborers who are working on solution to fill it potentially with concrete. So they are working on that. But the main gate, which was closed before, is open. And you know that Willow and Karen are out there somewhere.
Right. Well,
yes. I
start
think
heading off. Yeah, they were in the woods setting up a mock attack site. So, yeah, basically just start heading out of the town.
Fantastic. You guys head out sort of in the same direction as you came. The forest looks a lot different in the daytime. There's no feeling of dread. There are no undead that just show up. It's actually kind of nice under there. Forgive me, that's the music. You guys make your way through these woods, and eventually you come to the site of the attack, where you guys were attacked by undead. Willow and Karen have just finished setting up some skeletons to look more like they were bashed with an arm rather than, for example, speared through with Tolton's lance, etc. And they look up as you arrive, and Karen goes, "Oh, hello, you guys. This is actually a good time. We were just looking to carry some bones back to town to stage the actual attack on the town. So you guys can help. Carry some bones."
Not a problem at all. Is there any patchwork needs doing to the vests of these skeletons? Are they wearing anything that could have these distinctive marks?
Mostly their uniforms rotted away a good number of years ago. So the actual skeletons themselves should be fine, and shades don't leave. The shadows don't leave a residue. So actually, that's fine. I've got something at home that you could mend for me if you wanted to. Willow goes, we were using one of her vests for archery and knife practice, and now it's got holes in it. Crazy.
I can sort that out.
But we're here to help you stage this and make it look right. That's our main priority.
Cheers, guys. Appreciate that. Cool. Let's do it. Karen still looks a little bit sheepish about talking to the surgeon because she kind of embarrassed herself last night. And as you guys work, she kind of goes, look, I'm sorry about drawing an arrow and threatening you last night. That was can't measure you by our yardsticks and all of that. Forgiveness?
Yes, I guess so. Hopefully you're correct.
Right. Yeah. Hopefully. Cool.
Help?
Yeah, here we go. So you guys have a little look around. Go ahead and give me investigation rolls. See what you can find.
Oh, 17 plus 22.
22!
24.
Ooh! Theno comes, has had a look around, scout around. There are undead, or bodies rather, just everywhere, just kind of strewn about. But you come with a really good corpse. You're like, yeah, this one would be perfect. It's kind of it's mostly intact, so it's still got some flesh on it. You can properly stage this back in the town, and then the surgeon finds one in even better shape.
While I'm obviously patting things down, I'm checking to see if there's any distinctive marks or items left on them, artifacts, anything along those lines that may be useful from the time of the war, just for investigation purposes.
Sure. There, the white who disintegrated had a jagged black sword. That is still that's still there, and you can see on the blade is a symbol.
Does it feel? Do I get a distinct sense of magic coming from the sword, or?
No magic coming from the sword, but with your investigation roll that high, it's pretty safe to assume that this has been stamped with the symbol of Darafel.
Right.
So it's not in and of itself a magic sword.
Okay, but definitely something to be taken back.
Mm-hmm. Indeed, it's kind of. Yeah, it's not a symbol that you're used to. It's kind of, it's like a, it's a horizontal line with two vertical lines on the end, and then little lines coming out on the ends of those lines.
Okay.
Not entirely sure what that is. But yeah, you absolutely have one of those. You guys start to make your way back. So I'm going to make one preliminary. That is good. You guys start to make your way back. Now,
is Willow and the other one coming with us?
Yes, they also are carrying. They're carrying more like skeletons, like bones.
Okay. As we walk back, I say, Willow, I'm sorry to ask this, but I'm going to need Raiden's knife back.
Rhydon's knife?
Yeah.
I told... God damn it, how did you... I didn't take his knife. I didn't take his knife. I swear. I love knives. That's kind of that's a huge thing. It's part of my personality. I carry so many on me at any given time. I swore to him I didn't take his knife.
Look,
that looks like an insight check.
The knife to him. He's asked for it back, and it would help us curry favor with him.
I mean, I look, legitimately, I don't know what to tell you. I don't have the knife.
Right, should I do a persuasion roll?
Insight.
You can do an insight roll.
Insight? Okay.
I mean, you can try to persuade her to...
Oh, no, 9.
9? She's absolutely telling the truth.
Is she, though? Can I roll an insight
You
check?
absolutely may.
No, I rolled a 5, so that's a 7 in total.
Yeah, she, you do remember from Rhydon's letter that he didn't have any proof for his allegation, so it's literally his word against her word, and his suspicion rather against her adamant refusal that it's that is not her. So you can't see that she's lying. She looks like she's genuinely telling the truth.
Fair enough.
Yep. Alrighty. Now it is time for the D20 roll. You guys want this roll to be very high.
You're not meant to tell us that.
You guys want this roll to be very high. In multiples of 5 going down, things get worse.
Ooh.
So, on a natural 20, things at 20 through 15, everything is good. 15 through 10, there's something bad's gonna happen. On a 10 through 5, something worse is gonna happen. And a 5 through 1, catastrophe strikes. Here we go.
All right, let's do it. It was a 1.
The look on your face says it all.
1.
That's a 3.
Ooh, not far off. All right. TPK.
Can I metagame and cast invisibility, please?
No. You guys make your way to town. And
I create the knife.
You've created the knife. Tolton, you have joined them at the forge. Nothing immediately seems out of place. Everything is more or less fine. But when you finish creating this knife, you look up, and walking very slowly down the street is the Faceless Hunter. Very slowly walking towards you. You guys who are coming back into town don't see this. You come in. You can roll me perception checks though if you like.
It's a 14.
It's 14. A 7. I'm gonna say with a 14. You see the Faceless Hunter is out of place, and you see a figure standing near where the Faceless Hunter was. This person is clad in leather gear. They've got pouches on their belt with various. Then there's a section for vials. This person is kitted out. They have an unusually squat skull with no eyes in their head. No place where eyes would be. Kind of black-gray skin, very long fingers. This is of a race you do not recognize. And as you see this person, you've gotten quite close because you're bringing the bodies over there to stage this attack. This person's head whips towards you. Out of their mouth, a tongue that's very long comes out and tastes the air. What would you like to do?
I'm going to stop exactly where I am. And I'm going to move 1 foot backwards, my right foot, very slightly. I don't know about you, Thano.
I'm going to hold the body that I'm carrying in front of me as if it stood there. Hiding behind it.
You, forgive me, I am just going to quickly switch out the
music.
What do I? Maybe this one? Forgive me, I can't remember what all of them are.
Oh no.
This person catches wind of you. We're going to flip back to you guys at the forge. This thing is very slowly walking towards you. What do you do?
Is coming towards us?
Come towards you.
I'm going to. I'll turn to my elven friend, and I will say, "I reckon we might be time to hide."
I do believe you might be right. The question is where.
Anywhere. So, what's around us that we could possibly hide? I'm hoping that he's heading towards the forge.
I'll tell you what, you can hide behind me if you're scared.
No. Well, sometimes I'm stupid, sometimes I'm wise. You're welcome to. I'm just interested to see what it's doing.
You can absolutely see what it's doing as it comes forward, but there's a small house attached to, or like that this forge is outside of, that ostensibly you could go inside. You are on a street. There are people who walk past.
Are they just ignoring it? They're just walking past it
no,
like it's an everyday occurrence?
They are giving it a wide. People are retreating away from it, like people scattered.
So if I dart off sort of 20 feet off to the side, sort of changing where I'm at, does it change direction to be coming towards me?
It comes towards you. what's it?
I'm gonna look at the dagger I've just created.
As soon as I see him looking at the dagger, I just say, "What's it? Don't do it." But I have an idea.
Yeah, I'm gonna stick the dagger in the ground like that, and then I'm gonna move away from the dagger.
Okay. Alice Fane, did you want to do something, or do you want to see what happens?
I sort of giving the faceless hunter a bit of a wide berth. I make my way over beside Whatsit, and I sort of measure up, sort of his size compared to mine to sort of try and gauge. Could I cover at least, like, half of my body behind him?
Could you cover half of your body behind?
Yeah, like if I was to sort of stand, like that, would I be able to hide like at least like one half my body? Yeah.
Yep, absolutely.
Okay. Then I stand in that sort of position so that the right half of my body is covered behind Whatsit.
Mm-hmm.
And I roll up my right sleeve.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all scarred and cut up and whatnot. And I hold the cat of nine tails with the switchblade out in my right hand, so it's behind Whatsit. And I'm holding it in such a way, so like I'm holding it, straight up, so the blade's coming down the bottom, but I'm holding my hand at an angle, so the blade is like pressed into like my wrist.
Yeah.
And I'm just waiting to see what the hunter does.
Fantastic. The hunter walks forward. It reaches where the dagger is. It raises one of its legs. The bottom flattens into sort of an anvil shape, crushes the dagger. It does this, and then its face begins to flow. Mm-hmm. You see it rearranges itself, becomes flat, and rising up in sort of, Braille-esque ridges are symbols that start to appear.
It recognizes. Reckon I read the symbols? Recognize symbols now.
You can recognize that these are the same symbols that were on the scroll that Sophia was using, but you do not recognize what they are.
Right. Can I try and sketch them down while I'm watching? I'm basically grab out my notebook that I was using before and just try and sketch or copy anything that I can see, notes of what it's done with its foot and all that sort of stuff.
Absolutely, you can.
Thank you.
You see these runes write themselves out on its face, and then when the last space is filled, green light emanates from the runes. The runes lift themselves off of his face, flow to the ground, make a circle.
Am I stood in the circle?
Nope.
No, right, okay. I'll stand away and I'll sort of move away, sort of.
You're in your circles.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, I'll start walking around it twice. Anyway, I moved to sort of beyond 30 feet from.
Move beyond 30 feet. That was exactly what I was going to say. Is you guys have a round now, to do something before this circle has landed on the ground.
Okay. I reckon it might go boom.
But wherever Whatsit moves, I move in tandem with him, keeping that half of my body covered by him.
Fantastic.
Watching this going on, does it look like a spell?
You can roll me Arcana if you would like.
Why not? Do you dare?
Let's see how much you can glean.
23.
You can glean a lot. So, based on what you've seen of this strange script. It is not. For some reason, it works inside an anti-magic field. That's one of the first clues you have about it. You know that.
Are we still in an anti-magic field? Then
You're
in
not.
This area as well?
No, that's only around the town.
Yeah, the building,
so
wasn't it? Yeah.
was using it in an anti-magic field.
Yeah.
You can see that you can make a deduction that this thing must have a power source.
Right.
Similar to your Steel Defender, any automaton has to have some way of powering its movements. Yeah. This thing, it looks like the source of power is coming from inside of the thing. It looks like the runes are. You would imagine that something like this might have a way of receiving instructions in some way.
Right. Sort of like sending stones.
Sort of like sending
essence.
stones.
Right.
Whoever is designing the spell that is going to be used, this is a language. This is not something that this thing, based on the way you've seen it, it's morphos, it learns, but it doesn't cast spells. So somebody is using it to create.
Almost like semi-direct control.
It's
how I would use
instructions
my
on how to morphose its body to create runes, which, when given power, make
it's using it as a scroll.
Yeah.
Using it as a scroll is exactly.
Yeah. Like an arcane focus almost.
More than that, I think he's casting a spell from it.
Yeah, through it. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Like, it uses it as like a body, a channeling body almost, and casts through it.
Yeah.
Right.
So somebody else is using a spell through this thing.
Is there can I identify what type of spell is being cast through it?
Even with a 23, it is circular. So some kind of effect is meant to be contained within the boundaries of a circle. But beyond that,
it could be dispel, or it could be just about anything, couldn't it? It could be control, contain,
something within that circle. I'm reckoning it might be a big bad's coming. Let's bring it on.
Summon greater demon.
Yeah. It might be a black dragon.
Yeah.
So these runes land on the ground, lose their they're kind of ethereal, and what they do is they kind of sink into the ground as though somebody has carved these runes into the ground. The runes glow green. I need everyone to roll initiative.
Oh god.
That's quite good.
Oh my god. This is not even joking. I rolled a natural 20.
Whoa.
And I'm alert, so it's +5.
Wow. I mean, that's at 5, 6 natural 20s tonight.
Yeah, but what's worrying about it is we're using them all up now.
Yeah.
So I've got an 11 from Thano.
19.
18 from me.
18 from you. 19 from Tolton, was that?
Yes, thank you, yeah.
No worries. Alice Fane, what you got?
14.
14. Amazing. Let me just organize this. What does Vala get? Well, it doesn't get too good. And I need to pull out something. Give me a second. Person comes out of the gate with a 19. Okay. So, first to go is going to be Surgeon. Then is going to be... Oh, crap. For the people. Fantastic. So she's actually going to allow them to use her 19. So that is the... that is... going to go at the. She's going to go at the end of the cycle. Fantastic. So then it is Tolton. What's it? Alice Vane. Thano. And her. Thano. Then Vala. Then Hanoa. Two of these guys did not roll very well, so you're going to have some time to do some stuff. Okay, Surgeon, you are up first. You still do not know what the intentions of this strange humanoid being are. You and people around haven't run away from this person. They're just giving them a slightly wider berth than they would normally do as they go about their day. So they are not immediately perceived by the general populace as a threat.
Okay, so I'm going to ready my action. I'm readying my action so that if any aggressive stance is taken by anybody, it will then trigger my reaction.
What is the reaction that you are going to prepare?
I'm going to cast Levitate.
You're going to cast Levitate on yourself?
No.
On her?
The Faceless Hunter.
On the Faceless Hunter is not within sight of you. You only see this person.
Oh, I see.
So it is gone. It is gone after the others.
Oh, okay. In that case, I will Mage Armor.
Mage Armor. Fantastic. Buff that AC. So yeah, essentially what's going on here is there are two battlefields.
Okay, cool. I'm with you.
Amazing. So you are going to go ahead and Mage Armor. We're going to cut over to the other battlefield. Very cool. So yeah, the way this is going to work is this circle emanates with green power, and 7 figures materialize. These you see one person carrying a long straight staff, a gem at the head, mostly covered by 2 spiked kind of spear points that kind of encase it like a crab claw. This person is very tall, of the same blue-skinned, bald-headed, no exterior-eared race of one of the children that you saw in the
orphanage.
In the orphanage. You didn't ask after that, so you still do not know what that race is. There are 2 others of that race, but everyone else is wearing plain gray robes. The person in front is wearing more like almost looks like monk clothing. It's very loose, form-fitted. It's separated into pantaloons and a shirt, but streaming off of it in kind of tassels that wave as though in the wind are blue glowing strips of what look like fabric. And these her clothing almost looks like there's a base, but it almost looks like it could be made from this flowing material. They are very clearly in charge, and on their head they also wear a circlet with a tiny gem in it. The 6. Oh yes. So the other 6 who are wearing plain clothes. 2 of them are the same blue-skinned race. 2 of them are human, and 1 of them is an elf. These 6 are going to move forward. 3 of them are going to cast spells around the the three of you where you are, walls of sand appear, blocking your escape. In front of you, the other three lay down what is clearly a grease spell, which would make difficult terrain for 10 feet in front of them coming towards them. They angle in such a way that you're going to need just over a turn's worth of movement to make it to them for a melee attack. And that is their turn. Tolton.
Do they say anything? Are they looking directly? Because we're slightly separated, us three now, aren't we? Well, you two are together, and I'm slightly separated from you. I'm not.
How far away are you from
them? You moved. I stayed in the what do you call it? The blacksmith sort of hut area. But them two moved slightly away, didn't they?
Cool. So I'm going to say that 4 of them are going to do those effects, just one less of each, going towards Thano and What's It, and 2 of them are going to go towards you, but they just lay down grease in
but they don't say anything.
They don't say anything.
I'm not with What's It.
It was, you mean the other 2. What's It and
me and What's It.
Sorry, I meant Alistair and What's It. And the one who is in charge is actually going to speak. Let me just move this music around. She looks at you all dispassionately and says, "By the power vested in me by the 5 exalted wardens of the Grey Orthodoxy, I hereby arrest you as invaders and as enemies of Vulpecaar. Come quietly, and you will be treated well."
Could you remind me the names of the 2 other places that commoner that I was talking, or the guy I was talking to, said, so that I can make a note of them? Because I said I'm not from.
You said you're not from Fallcrest, which
Fallcrest,
is where everybody assumes that gnomes are from. The 2 places that the person named were Serispira and Acrylos.
Thank you.
No worries. You will find them on your map.
Yep.
So this woman essentially says to stand down. Her people do this magical effect, and it is your turn.
Who's
turn?
We're based off initiative,
it is
Tolton.
It is Tolton's turn.
Right. I'm going to go invaders. I'm sorry, I don't follow.
Do you want to take your turn just speaking?
I am speaking at the moment, yeah.
Cool. So she
I'm not obviously not making any, on my hip is a crossbow. It's it's there, but and my lance and everything else is strapped to my companion. I'm obviously not going for anything. I'm not trying to draw any weapons. I'm not literally. I'm just going. I'm sorry, I don't understand. What do you mean?
Gnome of Sygalia. You and your companions you have violated the territory of Vulpecaar. You are in allegiance with deities and have therefore committed a crime. You will come with us.
Well, hang on a minute. Actually, I'm here to speak to Brenigal Amokia. I believe the person's name is.
If you wish to speak to Brenial Amakir, there will be plenty of time for that from the comfort of one of our facilities.
I believe the word you was going to say then was cells.
You may call it what you wish.
But that's what you're going to say it is, really, isn't it? Because we're not free to move around, are we?
You are all under arrest. Whether you come willingly or not is entirely up to you, and how you are treated is going to be dependent on what you do next.
But if we were here to invade, we'd come with a bigger force and we'd be attacking. We're here.
That is going to be the end of your turn for the 6 seconds of combat. What's it? That is you.
And I'll go. I haven't violated anything yet. I haven't been bought my 3 chickens.
She looks at you and
he looks deadpan and goes, and it says that. First of all.
She looks at you and says, we have been informed of the symbols and cosmology of your world. You bear the mark of a god and are therefore under arrest.
Am I not allowed to have that here then? Because that's stupid.
Do you submit to arrest?
Do I submit to arrest? It looks like that. And it looks for Thano. Obviously, Thano's not there. And sits back and goes, 1, 2, 3. Well, I won't hit you. How about that for now?
That's the end of your round.
Yeah.
Fantastic. The way this worked out is really cool. Alice Fane, you are standing behind What's It, and it is your turn.
Mm-hmm. Do I get the impression that it seems to more so be What's It that they seem to be focused on, and we're sort of like criminal by association, or are they fully aware of the situation?
They are going to arrest all of you.
Okay. Oh boy. Okay. Oh. It's the sort of situation that Alice Fane would be very conflicted about, because on one hand,
exactly the same.
On one hand, he has the thought of, I have spent enough of my life in restraint and enough of my life being detained, and I swore to myself I would never let myself spend another day as such. But on the other hand, well, I'm no good to anything if I'm dead. Tell you what I'm going to do. Because in this situation for him, it would literally be a flip of a coin as to how he would react.
Okay.
So I got this new D2, as they call it. And one side, if I can show it there, is a natural 1. And the other side is a symbol representing a D20. Or representing a natural 20.
That's
so cool.
So, okay. He's going to bite his tongue.
Okay. We're going to call that the round of combat for you guys. We move on to Thano. That is your round.
Okay, I'm obviously stood there holding this body in front of me. How far in front of me are the symbols that have been drawn into the ground that are emanating the green light?
Down the street to the left and take a right.
So quite a way then.
Quite a way. You do not see the forge. All you see is this this person with long tongue, no eyes, long hands, kitted out, looking towards you.
Okay. So how far around and down the road are they to me? You know, where what's it?
I'm going to be nice and say it would take you 4 rounds of dashing to get there.
So 4 rounds of dashing?
Yes.
Okay, that's fine.
240 feet.
Yeah, I was just thinking of what I could cast, but that's too far. I think at the moment, all I can do really is just sort of drop the body and start making my way towards this kind of creature that's in front of me.
You go towards her?
Yeah.
Weapons drawn.
As I walk towards it, I'm going to cast True Strike.
Cool. You can do that as a bonus action. Gives you advantage on your next
Yeah.
attack.
So, yeah. What do I find out from True Strike?
What is the wording of True Strike? What are you trying to figure out?
It grants you a brief insight into the target's defenses. So on your next turn, you get an advantage.
Very cool.
But it tells you how basically if they've got a weakness or if there is a way to defeat them.
As though a little voice is in your ear, you get a little rundown. You say, you hear, the enemy is wearing a leather armor. Does not provide an awfully large amount to AC. However, the way that the enemy's body is structured makes them quite quick. So you are going to have to be quite fast in order to hit this particular enemy. In terms of combat capability, they seem to have quite a lot of materials on them to enhance their own body and make it possible to capture or investigate sites, criminal sites. That's what you get.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm not going to attack it because from that rundown, that gives me the idea that they're like an investigative creature that these people have summoned to find out what we've done. Does it react at all for me coming towards it?
It starts to walk towards you, and if you don't make an attack this turn, then its turn is next, and it will respond.
Okay, but then I'm going to. Can I then use my rogue ability to try and hide?
Absolutely, you can make your rogue ability to try to hide.
So stealth or?
Yeah, you go ahead and roll me. You roll me stealth.
9 in total.
9 in total.
The rolls are coming out now.
Yep.
You blend yourself in with the crowd and try to hide behind some loose boxes, and even by your usual standard, this wouldn't do it. Fantastic.
I've not had the rolls tonight.
Vulpecaar is going to take her turn. She did you bring the body with you, or did you drop the body? You said
I dropped the body. I wouldn't have been able
Cool.
to move.
You dropped the body. So this being walks over to it fully ignores where you have gone, and walks over. So they're standing about 20 feet away from the surgeon, and a voice comes.
I've got a funny feeling what the licking stuff is, but
tongue there was a moment where they tasted the air and then the tongue retreated.
Mhm.
This person speaks. I understand that you attracted a faceless hunter. And from the looks of things, you were trying to trick us into believing that the undead were going to attack. And that's why it came into town. Unfortunately for you, I arrived a little early.
And you are?
A pleasure to make your acquaintance. My name is Vulpecaar, and I'm an Inquisitor. I'm sure you don't know what that is, but
I completely own up to everything. I'm a Sygalian. As you can tell, I'm not here to make any enemies. Hence me trying to cover my tracks.
You can't be surprised, correct?
I can't be surprised now.
Fantastic. You get to make a dexterity saving throw.
Jesus. Oh. Guess what I got?
What'd you get?
I got a 2.
Oh, lovely.
You get a 2. This thing, or this person, also had to make a roll for this, and got a natural 1.
Was it an attack?
They made an attack.
In that case, I proc Mage Armor.
Mage Armor comes up, and from behind you, you feel something that would have hit you bounce off the Mage Armor. You can roll me a perception check if you would like.
That is a 15.
That's a 15. Quick glance back. There's a little metallic ball. You don't know where it came from, but it has bounced off of your Mage Armor and is on the ground. Fantastic. That is her. Oh, she's going to. There's a little frown that comes across her face, and say, that would have been so much more dramatic if it had worked. Oh well. You're under arrest.
I haven't said I was going to resist arrest. You just attacked me out of cold blood. I proved to be of any aggression, and I put my hands up in the air.
And you put your hands up in the air. Fantastic. We are going to go to the leader of the people who are with the other group.
Okay.
And we'll come back. This woman sees that nobody has immediately drawn weapons, and she is going to take out 3 little iron balls, and they float through the air towards all of you. And she says, there are 2 compressible buttons on each of these iron balls, if you'd be so kind to press them at the same time. And Spencer turn.
And I'll turn to her and go, I haven't got 3 hands. How am I supposed to press all the buttons at the same time? There's 3 of them.
You take it like this, you do that, and only one of them goes to you.
Oh, I push one, they push one, and they pushes one at the same time. Is that what
you only have to push the 2 buttons on yours at the same time.
Right. Okay. You need to be a little bit more precise. And why am I doing this?
No, you're absolutely right. Specificity is the soul of all good communication.
I think you can get a cream for that.
Pardon, my friend. He's not completely compass mentis, should we say?
You
have to speak in very, very simple terms.
Okay, understood.
So I still don't know why I'm doing this and what I've done wrong.
Can I assume that these are some form of manacle?
You can.
But we're willing, and if we're willing to come without fight or argument, why do we need to be manacled? We've not put up a fight here. We're not trying to cause a scene. If anything, you've caused more of a scene than we have.
Yeah. I want to know where Thano is. I'm not going anywhere unless I know where Thano is.
Your friend is being visited by Vulpecaar, one of our inquisitors. They are going to be arrested in due course, as you will. I'll
shout out. I will shout out at the top of my voice. I go, Thano, where are you? I'm not going anywhere until I know you're okay.
If you wait a couple of minutes, I'm sure that Thano will join us.
I'll push your buttons when I know that Thano's here.
I'm going to say, depending on what happens next, we are not in combat, after all. We'll cut over back to where the surgeon has put up his hands, and this person, you just you've just said that this, didn't even say you were going to resist arrest. This person goes, to be clear, are you intending to resist arrest, Antonio?
No.
Sorry?
I don't think so.
You don't think so? Your character wouldn't think that they were going to?
He's thinking he might cast invisibility, but at the same time, the guy, I'm quite easily distinguished. And if I was to take my mask off, knowing that devils and demons are, sought out and destroyed, it's probably best idea that I give myself in. It's probably the safest option.
Safest thing. Very cool. Thano, are you intending to resist arrest?
I'm not intending to resist arrest per se, but I'm intending to resist them finding me.
And finding you.
So if I've got another round, have I got a round now?
Yeah.
I'm going to cast disguise self.
Oh, cool. What? Who do you describe yourself? What do you?
I'm going to change myself to look like an average local. Just,
Fantastic. This person says, Surgeon, forgive me my little theatrics. I do so love the dramatics of my job.
I'm very similar. We might discuss.
Oh, I hope so. I've never had the distinguished pleasure of bringing in someone from another world. I would love to pick your brain, as it were. If you would be so kind as to pick up that iron ball and push 2 compressible buttons on the sides.
Can I roll an insight check to see if he's actually going to try and pick my brain?
Sure.
16?
It's a little bit more than a metaphor, but not literal.
Okay.
Probably talking about a detect thought spell or something.
Yeah. In essence, he's going to draw my mind. I'm going to push the ball.
You push the ball. Kind of mechanisms go off. I'm just going to change over the music again because we are going to be out of that for a moment. Mechanisms come out, wrapping each of your fingers individually in metal and then encasing your hands and manacling them together like this.
Okay. I'm going to cast thaumaturgy of a bird whistling.
From where?
The roof that's closest to me.
The roof that's closest to you. What are the components of thaumaturgy? Is it just verbal?
I'm pretty sure thaumaturgy is just verbal, yeah.
It's verbal, verbal.
Yep. You go ahead and cast that, and she goes, "Oh, forgive me. If you wouldn't mind gagging yourself," and she hands you a cloth.
Your hands are like this.
I'll just be quiet. You can trust me. I've come so far.
No, she says, "I think I can, Surgeon."
I noticed that she knows my name, but I'm not gonna build up upon it.
Cool. She turns away from you and goes over to Thano and tosses you one of these iron balls.
It just sees me. The spell doesn't work.
Walks over directly to. You are disguised. You know that you do not look like yourself. You also know this person doesn't have eyes.
Right.
As I thought.
So this person walks straight over to you. They're using some kind of sense that has nothing to do with sight, and says, "Thano, if you'd be so kind as to click these. I know you're just as dexterous as I am, as it were.
I'm gonna dash.
You dash. Okay, we're gonna go back into where our initiative was. Forgive me. You are gonna dash. We are going to we're gonna return to we're gonna deal with this. We're gonna deal with just the three of you. So Thano, you dash. That's your action. You're going in the direction of the blacksmiths. Next is this person's turn. So they get a 20 to hit you. This ball, boom, hits you in the back. This thing hits with some force, and form bands that go around your arms. They go around your legs. They close over your mouth, and they lock your hands in place.
Do I take any damage?
If you would like, you don't take any damage. You hit the ground, but you don't take damage. If you would like to, you may make a strength saving throw to get out of this.
Okay.
Going to give you fair warning. If you fail a strength saving throw in these, you don't get to make another one for 24 hours.
Okay. Right. Let's have a look. With the modified 19.
Modified 19. Modified 19 is not good enough to beat a DC 20.
Oh.
You make a valiant effort to get out and are not able to. The constraints bind you more closely. Surgeon, your constraints bind you more firmly as well. They go around your arms, around your legs, around your mouth.
Yeah, by the time I've already kneeled down, I've accepted the fact that I'm going to be taken in. So
there you go. You two are taken, and this person grabs you by the back of back of this kind of containment mechanism, lifts you up, drags you along, grabs you, Surgeon, drags you along, and starts making her way down with great strength to where the others are. Everybody else, would you have... This is a few seconds have passed. You guys just waiting?
Yeah. I've said this point. At any point, if there's because he hasn't seen Thano at this point and doesn't know where Thano is. He's not. He'll not being. He's not taking an aggressive stance at this point, but he's just saying, "I'll come with you when I know Thano's all right. I'm not coming with you until then." Because if he's not, and you've hurt him, I'm going to stick this spear made of spoons so far down your throat that I'm going to be able to play tunes on your bones of your feet.
I think I hear aggression. What do you think, Rima? Rima is one of these other blue-skinned ones and turns to her and says, Hedua, I think you're right. I think I hear aggression. Shall we?
That's not aggression. That's not aggression.
They're not listening anymore. We are going to do this the hard way.
Yep. Whilst it doesn't do it any other way.
Fantastic. There are 3 that are okay. First one is going to cast Web, which is going to try to entangle Watsit and Alicevane. You may both go ahead. Oh, I don't think there is a saving throw. You do that on your turn.
Your saving throw, yeah, on our game.
Cool. So yeah, that is on your go. One of them casts webs on your area. One of them casts webs on Tolton's area. Yeah. And what else do they want to do with their turns? So if you can cast in this in our game, we have a rule where you can cast a cantrip as a bonus action.
Yeah.
So all 6 of these lesser people are going to go at the same time. 2 of them have cast web. So that's one of their 2nd level slots. The other 4 have not cast anything. The 2 who cast web are going to cast Firebolt on Watsit the Worthless. And the other 4 are going to... So there are going to be a total of 10 attacks made, essentially. So here we go. 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll do these 5 at a time. 5 are going to go with Watsit. What do they get as a bonus? They get plus 5. Cool. You get plus 5. So the highest one gets a 22.
Okay. It does hit.
22 hits. The next highest one gets 18.
Misses.
So there are 4 that bounce harmlessly off of your armor and a
shield. Yeah.
Yeah, your Inferno Fire, and one of them is going to deal 1d10 damage to you. That's 3.
Does this allow... It's not a dexterity saving throw, is it? No, that's okay. No.
Not a dexterity saving throw.
No.
3 attacks are going at Tolton, and 2 are going with disadvantage at... not disadvantage, with a -2. Because you're in half cover, right?
Yes. Yeah, half cover is -2.
Cool. One of them gets a 22.
Yep.
That's going to do it. So this is the one on Alicevane. That's also 3 fire damage. The ones on Tolton are all going to be ineffective. And that is their turn. Tolton, that is you first.
Okay, so
first thing you got to do is make a dexterity saving throw because you are in a web.
That counts as a spell, doesn't it?
Counts as a spell.
Oh yeah, no, it's not on then. It's all right. Ignore me. So I get a bonus advantage on spell magic against me if it's in wisdom or charisma based, but this isn't. Where are we? 14.
14 does it. You are not affected by the web.
Okay. All right, so I'm going to draw my hand crossbow.
Yep.
And up comes my shield, obviously. And I'm going to go. So this is how you deal with things when people are just talking, is it? I was not aggressive.
This is how we deal with things when people who are clearly working together, one of the members threatens one of the High Wardens of the Grey Orthodoxy.
I wasn't aggressive.
One of your member was, and you are part of the party. It absolutely does.
Although my hand crossbow is up, I'm going to hold firing it.
Okay.
I'm not going to attack, and I'm going to go, how about we continue to try and talk about this rather than it come to blows? He just wanted to make sure his friend was okay, and that was all.
Roll persuasion with disadvantage because you're in the middle of combat.
Okay. Persuasion. 8. Very good.
Cool. What's it? That is you.
Yeah, Watts is just going to look at this fire dart. That's it. He's just stood there, takes a kind of defensive action behind his shield, and looks at Alusfin, looks at Tolton, and just says, nah, and then sort of in holding his spear like that, he just shoves the spear in the ground, lets out a roar. And I'm going to use cast a cantrip, Word of Radiance.
Cool.
Okay. And every enemy that I can see, they need to make a Constitution saving throw.
And every enemy that you can see, what's the range on this?
It's range. Hang on.
I think it's 5 feet.
Oh, 5 feet. So
I
it's
think
not.
it's 5 feet. So these
Yeah, it's
people
just
are
5
35
feet.
feet away from you.
Oh, they're 35 feet from me. Oh, that's different then. No, then I will. The one that hit me, I'll stag my spear in the ground, and I'll cast Toll the Dead.
I held my action, didn't I? My action was held. My actual physical action.
Sure.
So I was just waiting. My action was held to see if these go into combat or not.
Cool.
Okay. As soon as he's done his thing, and
you can do your action.
Yours,
sure.
I'll do mine. Yeah.
Which saving throw they have to do for Toll Dead?
It's point one creature in range. Send a battle around. You're talking about wisdom.
Wisdom, they get a 16.
Yeah, they succeed.
Alrighty.
Yeah. Succeed on wisdom saving throw or take target my sins.
And they look at you and they go, This one not only bears the mark of a god, this one is a divine caster. Brilliant.
I actually be beating my chest like this at a time to a rhythm.
Tolton, that's you.
Right, I'm going to cast Fairy Fire at them.
Great.
Which is the Dex 14 DC.
And how many of them does it get?
It says each object in a 20-foot cube within range.
Well, so I'm going to say you can get 5 of them in a 20-foot cube. Okay. What do they have to beat?
The Dex of DC of 14.
DC of 14. 2 of them are going to succeed. 3 of them are not.
Okay, so 3 of them are basically outlined, and any attacks made against them have advantage.
Fantastic. Do
and
that.
my bonus action.
Yep.
I'm going to let loose one of my a shot off my crossbow, my hand crossbow.
Make an attack with advantage.
Does 17, 23 hit.
23 does. Who are you aiming for? You can hit any one of them.
Who was outlined?
Who's outlined? Right. So 3 of them. So 3 of the 6. The lower.
Right. Okay. So
right
whichever one's nearest to me. Of those, is any of them the one that hit him with the firebolt?
That hit you with a firebolt?
No, that hit what's it?
Yes.
Right, then whichever one hit him with the firebolt is the one I'm shooting at.
Go ahead and roll some damage.
Uh, 6 points, and it is magical as well.
Yeah. This person takes a crossbow bolt in the side and doubles over in pain. This looks like it hurts quite a lot.
And you see, and if they're watching, the obviously it automatically another bolt appears in the crossbow.
It reloads on its own. Fantastic. The other combat is done. We are over to Henua. This leader woman goes, Coterie? To me. Magic starts to gather in her in her hand, and then goes to her staff as a focus. You see this multicolored magic starts to go around the staff. She says, Rima, I only need 2. 2 of the others there's a little hand signal that goes between them. 2 of the others light up with magic, and the magic is drawn into the staff. The power becomes greater, and all 3 of you have to make a wisdom saving throw.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah. 21.
21.
Hold up.
Oh, natural 20.
Ooh, 6th for tonight.
Not a natural 20, but 25.
Yeah, I got 22, but natural 20.
It was a 19 plus 6.
Yeah.
Nice.
You feel will that is not your own start to encroach, whispers in your mind telling you to submit, telling you to come quietly. All 3 of you recognize the effects of a charm person spell and are able to handily, with great willpower, rebuff.
Yeah, I'm just gonna laugh.
This spell. She goes, perhaps I've underestimated this crop. She is going to go ahead and take one of the ribbons from her clothes, rip it off. She passes it over her face. It seems to sink into her flesh. And then she makes a motion and draws, as though from her forehead, a different ribbon. Puts it back on her clothing. That is what she's going to do for her turn. The coterie are going to go next. All 6 of them turn away from Watsit and Alice Vane. They all turn to Tolton, and all of them are going to cast.
Hang on, forgive me jumping in here. Are we back around to the 6 that attacked? 4 of them attacked Watsit and 2 of them attacked me.
Yep.
You haven't had your turn yet, have you?
No, I didn't get to go that round.
You guys, I thought that
the round
okay.
where
Yeah. Okay.
Was before that.
Forgive me. What happened was Watson did his turn, and then Tolton did his turn, and I forgot that it was yours.
There's no problem.
Yes.
It happens.
Go ahead.
No, it's just when you said we're back around to those 6, I was like, hang on.
Stop being so quiet.
Only just realized. Go ahead and make me a dexterity saving throw.
Okay. Please be good. At least it's not strength. Oh, that's not bad. Okay. That's not great. That is 16 plus 2. 18.
Yeah. That's
okay.
All good.
Good.
Unaffected by the web.
At least it wasn't strength. That would have been a -1. Okay. So for this turn, what would have been done is the hand that was behind Watsit's back.
Yep.
I would have that like blade that was pressed against my skin. I would have nicked my skin with it, and then sort of slipped it back into its quote-unquote holster, just like a little loop on my belt where I like slot it through, and then reach into my pocket and taken out 2 sort of blood-crusted platinum rings, and let the fresh blood drip down onto them, and I then would have sort of, in the most romantic way possible, reached round. Reached round.
Give me a reach around.
Reached round Watson, and essentially sort of muttering in his ear as I do, saying, "Share with me your suffering, and let me show how it can be your strength." And place one of the platinum rings on his finger as I cast Aid, or Warding Bond. Sorry, Warding Bond.
Ah, yeah, okay, yeah.
So for as long as we are within
half my damage.
Yeah, and so as long as we're in 60 feet of each other, he has +1 to AC, has resistance to all damage types, and any damage he takes, I also take, but that's the resistant, like the halved resistance damage.
Yeah. Nice.
Very cool.
Great.
But I remain behind him as I do that. So I place the ring on his finger and then slip back behind him again.
Yeah. What's it? We'll go. Woo!
Amazing. Okay. Cool. So forgive me that we are back to where we were a minute ago. We are at the coterie. In this order, they cast spells on Tolton. All of them are casting Magic Missile at a 2nd level.
I'll get a reaction, don't I?
You get a reaction.
I cast Shield.
With the wording of Shield, does Shield protect you from all Magic Missile?
It says you have bonus A5 AC, including against the triggering an attack, and you take no damage from Magic Missile until the start of your next turn.
Fantastic. So the first Magic Missile attack reflects off of your shield. Some of them look a bit surprised. The second one,
boy.
the one that you shot issues a little command. They circle round. The other magic missiles are coming at Whatsit. Whatsit, first you take 11 points of damage
from
magic missile.
Magic missile. Well, it's got resistance to that, so I take 5.
So you take 5. Then you take 5 half to 2.
Yeah, it's a 7.
Then you take 11 half to 5 again.
So 7 to
12. And then you take 12 half to 6, so 18 in total.
18 damage, right? Okay.
This was a mistake. I take that as well.
And then what do they have as bonus actions that they can do? I'm pretty sure they're just going to I'm pretty sure they're just going to shoot more firebolts at Tolton. 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. We get a +5 to this, so these ones are going to be worthless. How does an 18 hit you?
No.
How about a 19?
No. I'm at 24 at the moment.
You're 24 because of your shield. Your shield reflects magic off of them. These people who were very much in control of the situation and really haven't stopped being in control start to look worried between them. They're like, okay, these people are not as weak as we thought they were. This is not going to be as simple a matter as we thought it would be. Tolton, that's to you.
Right. Because my Steel Defender's got its own action, it's going to start making its way towards them. Mm-hmm. It's going to take a while to get there anyway, but that's its action. It's just going to start making its way towards them. And I can't hit the one I've already shot once, ever, can I?
You can't. You can attack them.
No, the one that I've already hit. You said they circled it. They
did circle around. So Rima is I'm going to say that she has the effects of 3/4 cover, which is
right. So basically, she's the one issuing the commands. The others have just circled round her.
Yeah, the chain of command seems to go of the 6. Rima is the one in control and in command, and then Henoa is in command.
Right. The one I've already hit. Can I still? Do I still have access to that?
They have a +5 to AC, but you can definitely still attack them.
Right. Okay. I'm just before I do anything. Yep. Before I do anything, I'm going to say to them, "Are you sure you want to pursue this course of action?" Again, he just wanted to make sure his friend was okay. You have instigated this, not us.
Tell you what. If you don't attack on your turn, and if Watson doesn't attack on his turn, and if Alisfane doesn't attack on his turn, these people will stop attacking you.
I'm happy for that. But again, he needs to see his friend to make sure that they are okay.
Now, looks at you and says, Thano was sorry, his friend, he was yelling Thano, so she would know. Thano is on his way. Valis should be here any minute now. He always was.
I'm happy. I if you recall, none of us attacked first. You did.
For all
and I'm going to call across, and I'm just going to say, "What's it? If Thano's okay, you're okay, yes?"
Yeah,
there you go.
That's what I said in the first place. But if we're not in the I will cast a spell at that point. When my only spell that I've got, because of not getting them back, I'll cast Shield of Faith on myself.
You cast Shield of Faith.
It's precautionary at this stage, and again, I get down in a Legionnaire's position behind my shield, covering a Lucifen, spear out like that. And I said, simply bring Thano here unhurt now, or like I said, I will tickle your tonsils with my spear. And you can take that as a threat if you want.
Cool.
I'm not lowering my weapon. I'm lowering it. It's still in my hand, but I will have a spell in ready if you like. But I'm not making any attempt to attack.
Sure. Okay. What's it? That's you, Alisfane.
Okay.
That's you.
What would you do?
Cool.
I think I'm going to prepare an action.
Okay.
If any further damage is dealt to me, be that directly or through warding bond, I'm going to cure wounds myself.
Cool. Very cool. You guys take the round doing all of those various things. And tension is high. What is everyone going to do? And down the street comes this strange person that you three have never seen before, dragging your friends who are bound up behind them.
Neil,
muted, Neil.
Muted yourself first.
Sorry. My grip tightens on the spear, seeing him being dragging, because for all he knows, it could be a dragging a dead body. He's bound. But can I see that he's moving?
it's kind of difficult to move with these restraints, but
no, you can still, you can still see whether he's
person,
breathing. That sort of thing.
Yeah, they're alive.
You're breathing. I'll say, Thano, are you okay?
Your mouth is covered, but you can make like muffled sounds.
Okay. I said, loosen his gag.
Vala looks at how your mouth is freed, as is yours, surgeon.
Yeah. And I say, are you hurt, Thano?
No, but I don't know what's going on. They just came out of nowhere and took us.
Same. Then I'll throw my shield down with in disdain, and throw my spear down to the feet of the nearest guy that's sort of 30 feet away from me, and just throw it down. Not throwing it to hit them, but throwing it down. And I'll calm myself down, and I'll go, that's lucky. You're very, very lucky.
I believe I am.
Yeah.
Person looks at you with a little bit of more respect in their eyes. Respect, but not friendly respect.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well met on the battlefield.
Well met on the battlefield type thing.
Yeah.
All right. Well, as per the terms that you stated, your friend is alive, and
I'll take the ball. I'll take the ball that I presume is still there.
Yep.
And then I'll push the two buttons.
Clack, 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 clack. You are bound. Looks at you, Tolton.
I'm going to holster my hand crossbow, and I'll put my shield over my shoulder, and I'll go, I'm more than happy to come willingly. I don't see the need for restraints.
All the same. Please.
One thing first. When we get where we're going, I don't want to be locked in no cell. I'm more than happy to sit. I'm more than happy to sit in an open room with everybody else, discuss whatever. No problem whatsoever. If you wanted us to leave, that's no problem whatsoever. I'm more than happy to go back whence we came. But there are some things that we need to discuss first. I have not come here for a fight. I've not come here for war. As I said before, you instigated this conflict here, not us.
Says the person who's literally standing on the soil of an alien planet.
Mm-hmm. We came here because we need to retrieve somebody that came here before us. That's all. We were asked. We were tasked. We was chosen. It wasn't preordained. They came to us and asked us. We did not come here for the war.
There'll be time for all of this going forward. I can set the restraints to only cover your hands.
That's fine.
That's the most I'll do.
I'm going to jump on my steel defender that would have made its way back.
And
I'm going to clap my hands on the thingy.
And your automata is going to have to stay.
It's coming with me. It will do nothing without my say-so, and it will not harm anybody. You have my word.
We are aware of the way your automaton works.
Besides, I've only got little legs.
We understand. Is this going to be a problem?
Well, I don't want it left here, no.
Really didn't want to have to do this. Vala, Alisvain, you are hit from behind with one of these balls, and clack, 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 you are restrained. Tolton, you are restrained. Your mouth is covered, and sand comes up from the ground. Earth wraps itself around your steel defender so it cannot move. This person drops the two people. It drops Surgeon and Thano on the ground, walks slowly over to you, takes you off of your thing, of your steel defender, puts you on the ground, puts a hand on your steel defender, and you watch as the gears whir to a stop and the lights fade. And that's where we're going to end session 3.
Oh.
That was.
I'm going to make a mental note of the person that did that.
That was the no-eyed person.
That was awesome, Josh.
Yeah, that was
really good.
That was awesome. The tension.
Ooh.
The tension.
That dice roll.
That's great. Love it. Let the dice roll.
Mm-hmm.
The way these things sometimes go.
Love it.
You guys were a lot less confrontational than you could have been, and did a lot better on your rolls for some of those.
Tonight was great. Some crazy dice rolling.
6 d20, 6 natural 20s.
Six natural 20s. Goodness gracious.
That's all of them used up for the campaign.
Yeah.
That's
I'm
it.
sure.
I think we should do 6. Work out the probability of that.
I'll leave that to a mathematician.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Or a
anybody who
calculator.
wants to
Yes.
rewatch this episode and keep track of all of the d20s that were rolled.
But 3 of them were made on the one thing.
Yeah, 3 of us at the same time.
That was
wasn't
insane.
Was it 4?
That's just nuts. I've never seen anything like that in my entire
The rest of my rolls
30
were
years
rubbish.
of playing D&D. Never
was-
seen anything like it.
It was a relatively simple thing as well. Like, I was like, I wish I could give more information.
No, it's great. It's great.
That's good.
The intrigue
amazing.
is brilliant. But thank you for everyone that's been watching.
Definitely.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
And
It's
if
just
you're watching on Catch Up, we appreciate that. Obviously, fantastic too.
100%.
Or podcast.
Mhm.
Yeah, on
Podcast people.
I was
Yeah, you
listening to the podcast today while I was out on my bike. It was great.
Yeah, it's
Very
great. And
refreshing.
you can download the podcast from
SoundCloud.
SoundCloud. I'll be uploading it probably Tuesday. Once I've done added all the stuff to it and conversions and everything, but that should be Tuesday.
Yeah,
And just to I think it's worth reminding everybody about the competition as well.
Yep.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Yeah.
Funnily enough, so was I.
Great minds and all that.
Take it away.
Who wants that? All right. Okay.
Right.
All right. So yes, we mentioned it at the start, but we'll reiterate it now. If I could stop kicking my mic. Apologies. I've probably done that a couple times throughout. New mic stand. Who dis? But yes, so we are running a small competition, only a small one just to start us off. But we are going to offer someone the chance to create an NPC of their own. It could be maybe a D&D characters of yours from that you've played in the past that you particularly love, or an idea that you've had that you've never seen come to fruition. Essentially, all you need to do is go to our Facebook page. Or if you don't have Facebook, I don't know if it's already up on the Twitter or not, but we'll put it up on the Twitter and the Instagram in case it's not.
It could email it to us as well.
You can email it to us as well, yeah.
Yeah.
I believe you can actually find our email in the description. Essentially, just share the word. That can be either, if you share it on Facebook, we'll be able to see who shared it on Facebook. Same with retweets and whatnot on Twitter. If you don't have any of that, screenshot a share that you've done and email it to us if you so desire. But essentially, once we hit 100 subscribers, we are going to then choose. We're going to take all those names of everyone that's shared it, and put it into a random proverbial or digital hat rather, and the name will be selected, and you'll then work with our wonderful in-house DM Josh to bring your character idea to life. It will then become an NPC that we can interact with in game and wreak havoc with.
Don't forget, it doesn't have to be nice. It doesn't have to be a good guy to work with us. It could be somebody against us.
Oh yeah, it could be total ass.
We're not going to find out about it until obviously it's too late.
Yeah.
You're saying character? Could they go monster?
Why not? It's
at
their
Josh's
choice.
discretion. Yeah, I don't see why not.
Cool. Yeah, if you guys want to submit an idea for
an evil villain
monster, for these guys to fight, could be sentient or bestial, whatever kind of person you want. I'm sure that there will be a time and place for that person.
And I've got I'm going on the spot here, but actually we've got thanks to Jim, that a punk band who's a friend of his is writing some songs for us. He's writing a song for What's It, but I'm wondering if they might write a song for the NPC as well.
I'm sure they'll be more than happy to do stuff like that. They're well down with it.
So the NPC will get their own theme tune,
which will play in the background while they go up.
Definitely. The band is funnily enough, it's just a local band. They are some of the funniest nights out with these guys you would not believe. I can't go into too much detail, obviously, but they are fantastic and they take absolutely nothing seriously. They are a really great bunch. They're a band called We Punch Tigers, and they really are so fun.
And maybe we can get them to come and draw the name out of the hat.
Why not? Yeah, I could do that. I could sort that out, I'm sure.
Yeah. That sounds great.
Before we end, I also just want to bring up, some of you may have seen the video that went up on Wednesday past.
It was awesome.
It was
very much.
Thanks for setting the bar so high.
We've got to try and emulate that.
Everyone's dying to follow you up. Yeah.
See, you all keep saying that. I'm not sure how well it turned out, but I'll take your word for it. Awesome. The next one will be coming this Wednesday. Have we decided who's? I know there was talks of Neil making some headway, but did we officially
give me
decide
a couple of
who's
weeks?
Going next?
I'm sure we'll put our heads together. We'll get something.
Yeah, something will
happen
for sure.
Yeah, one of them will be coming out on Wednesday coming.
Comments. If you leave a comment, then we'll decide. But you have by the end of tonight.
Yeah, if there's a particular preference.
And don't forget, guys, any questions and things, feel free to fire them on Facebook, on the YouTube channel, Twitter, whatever else.
Yeah.
We've already had some questions around the world and stuff like that Josh has created.
That was for Sygalian. Now we have a map of Vulpecaar. We've got a rundown of some of the way the Vulpecaar works. So that map will post up tomorrow. And once again, hit me up. What do you think about benevolent communist states?
Socialist.
Don't get him started. Do not get him started.
Don't mix the two up.
My bad.
Controlled by don't get me started.
Yeah.
Another conversation for another channel, gentlemen.
Another conversation.
How big is the room? No, I said
if you want me to do a broadcast based on my opinion on politics, I'm willing to do that. Get us the subscriptions first.
Leave it there. Just a thank you to everyone again for watching.
Huge thank you.
Great fun doing it. I hope you enjoy it as much as we do.
Can I say also a special thank you to those that have returned for multiple episodes. I know in particular Mr. Grey out there has quite nicely been with us every episode thus far.
And Tanya as well.
Yeah.
Yes, Tanya.
Your support is appreciated.
Very much so.
And we love you all. Hope you enjoyed.
Lots and
safe adventures.
Lots of special What's It hugs to you all.
Yes, lots of them.
As everybody except for Nezumi goes to jail.
Yes. All right, next episode, Nezumi's adventure. She breaks us out.
Yes.
All right, guys. Until next time.
Alrighty.
See you later. Thanks again.
Love you all.
Stay safe.